All right, well, welcome everyone to the show. Welcome back to Isyour6covered. Appreciate everybody showing up. A lot of you guys are always out here, and I appreciate that very much. Let's see who got first place. We got the other Tim Davis comes in first place. Steve Healy, DW, Big Country, Drew Bradley, Andy Lau's out there. Who else we got out there? Let's see. Joaquin Jack Nava, welcome. And got Cardinal Puffs out there. Welcome to the show. Cardinal says it well. He says there's 12 people watching, only 10 likes. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube algorithms. All right, TB, welcome. All right, so we're having some fun. We are waiting for our special guest. Hopefully he shows up. We shall see, and if not, it wouldn't be the first time I can make madness happen. So let's have some fun. Hopefully he does show up, though. Love to hear you guys know who he is, especially all those names out there I see. You see him out in where you guys are right now, out in the comment sections, giving out great knowledge, great information, and be great to get him on here and get to meet the person in real life, basically, kind of YouTube real life. Mano018's out there, Stratos27, Nancy Mink. So hopefully got Brian T, Handy Nelson. Chris Smith's out there. We got Snake Man 48. He got a knife today. He ordered one. Who else out there? Thriller Rob. Buy some 50s out there. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. We don't want to do that. So hopefully you guys are having a great night, even though it is a Monday. But you know what? Today's Monday wasn't so bad. Got to build some really cool knives and had a good time. I got Ninja Squirrel out there. I see snuck in. Daniel got as my judge. Robert Warren. Carrie Emery's out there. Orson Humphrey. He saw. Who else did I miss? I don't like missing anybody. Chair Bear Tactical. William Nah. LZ USA. Mr. Smoky Mountain Boys is out there. When are we going coyote hunting again, buddy? Big Country. Larry Funk. Bring on the madness in the spiked tea. That's right. We are having some McDonald's sweet tea from breakfast. So I ordered 2 of these. I didn't do very well today, guys. I got lazy and just said, "Can you make them half and half?" I just rolled with it. It was early. I was tired, and I was like, you know what? I could probably use the extra sugar, but I did okay. This is breakfast sweet tea. Added some ice cubes, and what's the one thing good about sweet tea is you can keep adding ice to it. Oh man, so kind of doing okay, but I'm not doing the best that I should be doing. But hopefully everybody out there is doing way better than I am, because my hands are killing me. I'm getting a little worried about shooting anymore, man. I tell you what, we talked about it a little bit. I know I'm right at 50, so I knew I was going to have some hand issues back like when I was in my 30s. They were already kind of sore, but nothing like they are now. And they hurt like a son of a gun. I'm just glad it's not my trigger finger yet. It's this one here. It's fat and swollen and it won't bend and it hinges up. And then this finger is the worst ones. These 2 are here. So I tried a couple things last night. I tried what the hell is that called? I don't know, something. Went to bed, put it all over my hands, and then I was afraid to like rub my eyes or anything, so I couldn't get any sleep, so I basically washed it off. See a doctor. Yeah, that's a good idea. I do need to see a doctor. I don't really know what they can do besides maybe cortisone shots or something, but you're right. You are right. 45 auto. And you know what? You guys motivate me to get my stuff figured out, so appreciate it. John Kreiderman, had a chance to talk to him tonight, and he has a nephew. I believe that's right. Yeah, a nephew. Yes, a nephew, and he has been taking him to the range. He is like 14, I think, and he's really capturing this whole 22 long rifle stuff, so he may shoot a match with us coming up. Kreideman's really getting into it. He watched that video that I put out and kind of just he really critiqued himself watching the video. It's so much information watching a video. The reason why I even started YouTube was to basically see what my mistakes were having something out there, being able to video it and then go, oh man, I really screwed up here, really screwed up there, I could have done better here. That wasn't so bad, but I could have done this to make it faster, or whatever the case is. So even if you're not doing YouTube, utilize your camera. Everybody's got a camera of some sort on their phone. Doesn't have to be the greatest, but if you have a chance to record yourself, and you'll notice some of the things that you can work on. You'll notice some of the things that you may do really good at, but you can always go back and critique yourself. Yeah, we got Charles popping in here. There he is, the man of the hour. We'll bring him in here. So give Charles a welcome round of applause. How you doing, Mr. Charles?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. How are you, sir? Is life just dandy?
It's awesome. Just got through mounting the new Cronus BTR Gen 2, and
Nice.
It's impressive.
Looks like you got a nice hat on there.
Yeah, some guy on YouTube sent me this here a while back.
Well, nice, very nice. Yeah, I've been waiting and hoping you'd jump on here one day. So welcome to the show. Appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
So those of you, Charles, why don't you give a little rundown of what type of shooting you do, what you enjoy, and then we'll get into some questions. But this will give, I think, a lot of people know you out there as a very knowledgeable person, always commenting on, on comments and helping out the comment section there with information, and myself and Ray as well. So very knowledgeable. So thanks again, and if you don't mind, go right ahead and tell us about yourself.
About 2 years ago, I started shooting PRS. I started out with just a Ruger Precision, shot it for a year and a half or so, and it shot well. Nothing wrong with it at all. Went to the range one day with a buddy of mine, shot a custom gun, and got hooked on customs. The bad part about Oklahoma is there's not a whole lot of matches in this area. Everything is 4 hours or farther to drive, whether it be out to western Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas, whatever. So I shoot a whole lot of the regional matches, and we have a place about 45 minutes from here. We started last year shooting mini matches. We'll do a series, and it's always been fun. But PRS is about all I do. I play with the 22 some. I'm not as serious as you and Ray are yet. But, yeah. That's my story, pretty much.
Nice. So you have the last few years, it sounds like you really you dove into this whole love of shooting PRS style matches, which is really cool.
Dove in head first. That's the only way to do it if you're going to do it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what happens when you get a. I think the whole 22 long rifle thing's really been a blessing, just for the fact that ammo is just hard to find right now. So it makes it kind of nice.
The whole ammo deal makes it nice. It was cheap to shoot, and now
was it bad?
It's easy to shoot. There's more and more 22 matches popping up all over the place.
It really seems like that. And I'm thankful that we're kind of in a nice little spot right here where we can hit. Like we're gonna go to Kentucky Saturday, and that's really only 4 hours. And then we're in Tennessee, and so there's all the states are really small. So we're right in that little hub of the western portion of North Carolina that lets us kind of finger out to different states and get out there and shoot. So it's kind of cool.
And it makes it nice that you and Ray and Matt, you all travel together too. You split expenses and stuff like that. It makes stuff a lot easier. For me, the closest in-state match is 3.5 hours. And
yeah.
It's one of those deals with work and everything else. It's just hard to get away Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to go do it. So that's one reason that I shoot a lot of the small matches and stuff. I am going to try to shoot the Punisher positional this year up in Olathe, Kansas, I think it is.
Oh, really?
Derek
Nice.
Love's place. Yeah, it's June 25th, 26th, and 27th. The
Okay.
entire match will be 100% positional.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, actually. Now, what's your favorite cartridge of choice right now?
Six Creedmoor. It is God's caliber.
Oh, you like Six Creedmoor? Good.
Yep.
I'm a fan of it. There's so much stuff, and everybody's going to the Dashers and Prancers and Vixens and all that bullshit, and it's just tough to keep up with the latest and greatest. And I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna shoot the Creed and Six Creed and call it good.
I've got a BR barrel on the way. I'm going to try the 6BR out, but I've got another 6 Creed barrel sitting in the safe. So if I decide, BR is not for me, I'll just switch right back to the 6 Creed.
Okay. Well, why don't you maybe give us an idea of what your favorites are, like favorite bag, maybe favorite action barrels. Just kind of go through some of the stuff that you use.
The favorite bags, I carry 3 bags that matches with me. I carry the OG Wax Canvas Game Changer, I carry the Schmedium Game Changer, and I carry the Pump Pillow. With those 3 bags, you can shoot any position you want to shoot. You can shoot prone. The Pump Pillow will take up spaces and stuff if you got that wide space, where you're in an awkward position. Favorite actions, I really don't have a favorite. Everybody makes a good action. It really comes down to, do you want to spend $825 for an Origin from Bighorn, or do you want to spend $1,500 for an Impact? It's one of those deals. You've got machine stainless versus chrome moly is the difference in it.
Yeah, and and for the most part, they probably all shoot right around the same, half MOA or better, like right in there. Yeah. So it's like
they'll all shoot. Your barrel is the important part, and like for any of them, I think Proof is making pre-fits for the Impact. They make pre-fits for the Origin. They make pre-fits for the TL3, the Defiance Ruckus, and I think there's 3 or 4 more actions that they make pre-fit barrels for. Alta Shooting Solutions, $490 shipped to your door, and you'll have it 3 days if they have one in stock.
Wow. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
It seems like anything you order right now is 4 weeks to, 4 years and a month.
Oh, yeah. I did get a notification earlier where Altus just got a bunch of TL3 prefits in, Origin prefits. I don't know if they have any Impact prefits in stock or not.
All right.
But those Proof barrels for the money, you can't beat them. They'll shoot a quarter MOA all day long.
Yeah, Ray's had really good luck with the Proof barrel. I know there's actually a ton of manufacturers out there. I have a Douglas on the 6 Creed, and that thing shoots great. Works nice. And what else? I think people have preferences, and it's kind of tough because at some point when a company gets so big, so well known for making something so accurate, and then those orders start coming in, it's probably tough to really keep up with the same quality, making sure that the quality control is good and all that kind of stuff. So
what I've seen, it's not so much the quality control aspect of it is, you take a small company, Impact Precision, for instance. You got Tate Streeter and Wade Studeville. They run Impact Precision. So you take 2 or 3 guys that's worked there, that's all they have is 3 people. And you just get piled and piled and piled with orders. Yeah, that's where you get the lead times of it taking a year to get a built gun from them, stuff like that. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I would rather, nobody wants to wait, but if the reason why you're waiting is because you're trying to get something that's good, that, and you don't want them to rush it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, okay, if you need an extra month, go ahead, because I want the damn thing to shoot well. I don't want
to. A custom rifle is kind of like taxidermy. Do you want a taxidermist to do a mount in 2 weeks and send it back to you looking like garbage, or do you want something that looks good and does what it wants to do? That's how I see it.
Very true. So when's your next match?
We will start our mini series in April. I'm actually going out to Lady this weekend, the Clay's Cartridge Company, the RO for Clay and Tate out there. I take and try to help out and do a lot of the ROing and stuff like that. There'll be 4 or 5 of us get together and drive out. Because most of my buddies, they won't spend the money and go shoot the 2-day matches. They want to do it as cheap as possible, which I understand that. So it's kind of hard on traveling to 2-day matches by yourself. So,
Yeah, I totally understand, because it seems like those last matches we did, the PRS style stuff, all the matches were $500.
yeah.
It's like, so that's a good chunk,
Mm-hmm.
You go to a few of those a year and you're like, holy hell, I spent $3,000 on freaking matches and hotel rooms or whatever,
Yeah. Because you figure it's going to cost you for yourself, you got $285 just to go shoot a 2-day match. Then if you want to be a qualifier in the AG Cup, that's another $250. So there's almost $500 for one match, just match fees.
Yeah.
You've got your room for the weekend, because you'll probably stay Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Say $75 a night. There's another $200. You're looking at $1,000 to $1,500 a weekend for a person if they go by themselves at least.
Yeah, and being able to split at least hotel rooms and fuel and stuff like that definitely helps.
It definitely helps.
Yeah. Now, how far west have you gone for a match, Charles?
Ladies about as far west as I went. I RO'd 2 matches out there last year.
What state is that?
That's here in Oklahoma. It's western Oklahoma. It's
okay.
Dang near on the New Mexico border of Oklahoma and New Mexico, in that little corner there.
Nice.
I went up to Missouri for some of the most matches 3 or 4 times last year. Those was fun matches. And most of what I've done is just here local, shooting these mini series and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, and that's what makes it fun, is when you're not doing the hours and hours of driving. That one, I don't know if it was our last match, but the match where we went to Tennessee, that was like 5 hours, and then you got to do it on the way back. So it's like, before you know it, it's it's midnight, 1 o'clock by the time you get home and tired and basically got to go to work next morning.
From my house to Leedy's about 3 hours and 30 minutes is what it takes us to get out there.
Okay.
And then we have Foulboard Precision. That's where the finale was shot this year.
I didn't cut my finger.
It's about 3 hours as well. It's southwest of
I was
3.5.
getting the dry skin off my toe.
3.5 hours.
And that's what
Gotcha.
happened. I'm not gonna
Very
do
nice. Let's see here. Let's jump out here real quick and see what kind of questions we got. All right, if you guys got any questions for Charles or myself, let me know. Let me scroll up here real quick. And can you see the comments, Charles?
No, I'm getting ready to go over to YouTube and.
Well, just click on the top right, and it'll say comments.
Oh, comments. Got it. There we go.
There you go. Now you can scroll around. If you see something you want to answer, or you see a question out there, let me know. Let's see here.
Dang, yeah, I've been busy talking in chat while me and Rick's been talking on video.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's hard. Someone will ask a question. That's why you got to scroll around and look. If they're having a good conversation out there, a question can get lost pretty quick. So yeah, time. Yeah, I'm excited. Kreideman's got his nephew out there that he's working on, trying to get him to start shooting some matches. And he's very competitive. I think he's a national champion wrestler. And he's very, when he gets into something, he's like dives into it. So it'd be cool to see him out there at the next couple matches. I see X-Rings out there. Welcome, X-Ring. Headed my way. Copy that. Brian Marks, welcome to the show. Ramsey Country, Bill Sweeney. Going to be shooting with Bill Sweeney Saturday. So cool.
Bill actually hit me up here a while back asking me for advice on the Athlon Chronos class.
Nice. He
I
just
think he
picked
got
up a
one.
he picked up a scope, and I'm not sure what he got. I know he had called me one time, and we talked about Vortex for a little while, and I think he decided to go with something else. I'm not sure.
You know, there is nothing wrong with Vortex.
No, I love him.
My only quirk with Vortex is every Vortex product that I have had, scope wise, I have had to send back at least one time.
Yeah, see, that's crazy, Charles, because I got quite a few, and I have not had to send one back yet. And you guys know on the channel, I mean, it's not like they just sit there. I use them quite a bit, so jamming them in between barricades and stuff. So
Part of it was my
lucky.
fault. I mean, I'm rough on equipment, you know. Yeah, I might have ran over a couple of them out hunting and stuff like that, which I take full responsibility for. The
But they'll
thing that
warranty them.
Yep. The thing that burnt me on Vortex is I sent a PST back to him 4 times for the same thing.
Oh, really?
Yes. I would get it back,
Hold
take
on,
it
I
out
got
of the
someone
box.
knocking at the safe door. I'll be right back. Keep
I'm
talking if
probably
you
ready.
can. You forget the code, Dick?
5 is the wrong spot.
Oh, yeah. That happens to me, too. I'm going to need the earbuds. All right, we got another guest here. Not even really a guest. He's just known as a...
Hey, Ray, what's up?
What's up, Charles? How are you, sir?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, and everyone else.
I see a question Tyler Orth asked. He's contemplating picking up an Origin, and he asked how it compares to other custom actions.
Well, I've got limited time with it. It's at the house right now, but that Origin, I mean, it seems as good as the TLR3. I mean, I don't know. I haven't held them side by side and really compared them, but in that 223 Ackley improved, looks like it's a great option. I think it saves him some money.
I agree 100%. You know, if you don't want to spend the $1,200-1,300 bucks, 100% get an Origin. I have had 0 issues with the one I have, and it feeds reliable, it shoots good. So that's my answer on it.
Skunk Ape's out there talking a lot of stuff. I see that.
Let me see this. Let me see. What do we got here? I'm going to put it up on the camera. I'd put 100,000 that I can shoot with and 10% of Rick or X-Ring with the Swedish Mauser. Sorry if you like to waste money.
A Swedish Mauser positional, I'll take that bet.
Yeah, 100 grand. It'd be kind of fun to try.
Skunk Ape, are you local to the south? We can arrange I'm not calling you out, I'm just saying we can arrange a day. I'm always looking for good people to shoot with, and if you can do that with a Swedish Mauser,
It'd be great to get on video.
it'd be good in a competition setting.
Yeah.
We'll run 10 stages. We don't have to make it 100,000. We can
Let's make it.
make it easy on everybody.
Let's do it for a cheeseburger.
2 cheeseburgers
And a Diet Coke.
and a gallon of sweet tea. I can fly, Skunk Ape says. Don't let them arms get tired. Let's see. Raise the janitor around Rick's world. Headquarters. I don't think so. Let's see. Pispy. I'm lethal with my Daisy. Tell you what, I used to be lethal with the Daisy back in the day.
Yep.
I've killed more stuff you can shake a stick at with a Daisy.
Yeah. He has the combination of the door, Tim Davis, but he just...
No,
Thought the
the
numbers
problem
were-
is the combination to the door is none like a normal keypad, like on a phone or any other safe. They put the number 5, in the lower left-hand corner. Okay? It's never there. Okay? And the 0 is way off to the side, so it's a different layout, and because there's no light, because he has a tarp covering it, you're under this dark tarp trying to punch out these numbers. So
That's right. Top secret. What do you need to hit a 5 for anyways? There's not a 5 in the thing. Let's see.
there's not a 5 in the thing. There's enough numbers there. They're never going to figure it out by one digit. Okay, it's not going to happen.
That's true. Always looking for 100 grand. Jerry Parker. Let's see.
I'm not knocking the rifle, conservative sniper hunter. I mean, the Swedish Mauser is a great, great weapon. But I mean, if someone wants to come on and just challenge, it doesn't matter what the rifle is. It's just, if they're going to shoot within 10%, they must be a competitive shooter. It doesn't matter what he's shooting. I mean, give him a Accuracy International. Give him a custom rifle build.
Yeah, be fun. 6.555. About 55 cartridge over the cartridge in the Mauser rifle. Let's see.
Or let's qualify this. So since Skunk Ape came on doing all this, because I was watching it on the way over here, what are your qualifications? What have you won? What are your placements usually in matches? I mean, that's a simple question. We're pretty open with what we've done and how we compete. Ramsey Country says, post some videos, big boys. I'll eat humble pie if you can do it. So I think we got Ramsey Country. You know what? Let's not even go down this path. He can.
Yeah, I'm with Ray. I mean, just let him talk his talk, and yeah.
Skunk Ape.
First off, let me tell you, I do want to tell everyone thank you that ordered the Demolition 2. They sold out completely, like instantly. So the reason I was a little late is I was trying to get everything packaged up. You should have gotten an email already because they'll be shipped out in the morning. There was one person, I won't call out the name, but the email is like Cat Skinner or Cat Skyner. I need you to clarify one thing because the email is a bad email. So if you could hit me back on my email.
Cat Skinner.
Yeah.
All right. If you're out there,
I would have never
resend an email.
Yeah, I thought that would be enough to have a little bit of inventory, but it's kind of like the bad MS. I can't keep them.
Well, between your text post thing and then I put a little video out too.
Well, I appreciate it.
Let's see. All right. So what else is going on?
I don't know. I don't know what all I missed because I don't have service at the house. I was doing the packaging. What did I miss with Charles? How long has Charles been shooting?
He's been shooting
PRS
for 2 years.
Yep.
He dove into it deep, like most of us.
Yeah.
And then he's out of Oklahoma. He has issues trying to find matches nearby. There's not too many, but
yeah.
Other than that, his favorite bag. He's got a few favorite bags. What's your favorite?
Go ahead, Rick.
What's your favorite scope again? I forgot. Or did you say? I don't remember.
I really don't have a favorite. I started shooting the Athlon stuff last year. A buddy of mine had a Cronus, and I ended up picking an Aries up off the prize table, and that glass for $1,000 is amazing.
Nice.
Well, last week I had an issue with it, and I sent it back to Athlon, and I upgraded it to the Cronus BTR Gen 2. I just mounted it, and it's pretty impressive. I may actually get with Ray and may end up sending the scope to let him review and compare.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because I have no experience with those at all. And, like I mentioned on the chat the other night, I'm starting to learn that there's a lot of great value out there with good glass. And, you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. There's some great options out there, especially now. And then I do want to answer Joe Bender's question. Joe asks, the scope on the 22 has white turrets. That is called a speed turret. It's an option on the Burris XTR3, and what it is it's a whiteboard. So it still has your etching for your numericals in there and your 10th mils. But what you can do is if you have, let's say, 3 targets, you can go ahead and with a dry erase or even a wet erase, you can go ahead and mark those target locations. It's also a lot taller, and it's nice and it's easy for me to see.
Joaquin, I just got the Athlon Cronus Gen 2 BTR with the AR PS6 reticle. It's a reticle they just came out with back in January. Is the scope that I'm running right now.
Yeah, is that illuminated reticle or that's the
yes?
The up? It is. Okay.
Yep, illuminated reticle.
Nice. What did you say? What reticle you got in there?
It's the APSR-6 or something like that. It's a reticle they just came out with in this Gen 2.
Okay.
They've had the APRS or whatever it is, and they've had the ASPR-1 and the ASPR, I think it is what they call them. I've been shooting the 1, and I went ahead and upgraded it to 6 just to see. I like it because it's got the 2/10 hash marks instead of the half mil hash marks.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do enjoy. Actually, at that training we were doing yesterday, is that yesterday? 2 days ago?
Yeah.
I was doing quite a few holdovers, and it just wasn't. I was like, man, I wish I had more than just 1 mil, 1.5, 2.
It makes a difference, especially when holdovers and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Joaquin, really quick, you should have gotten a notification on yours. I also included something else in the box, so it's my way of saying thanks. You've always been a big supporter of the channel, so thank you.
Patrick Smith needs 2 rails for your 22 plinkers to go from Dovetail to Picatinny. Area 419 makes those, I believe. From the Picatinny to the... Or from the Dovetail, the one that we threw on the CZ 457?
Yeah, they make one for the CZ. I think CZ also makes one for theirs. There's quite a few that clamp on. They usually have little set screws on top, though, and it can mar up the top of the rifle on those, on the CZ ones. The Area 419 doesn't, so you might want to take a look at those.
There you go. What's up, Joe Moore? 20-inch
Conservative Sniper Hunter, you ask about the foundation. Yes, there is a lot less felt recoil with a foundation versus shooting the MDT ACC. I was out yesterday shooting it, practicing with it. It's a game changer.
Nice.
What would you say the percentage is, Charles, on that? How much recoil does it reduce?
I'd say 20%.
Wow. All right. And that's on a 6 Creedmoor, right?
Yeah, that's
what
a
you're
6
running.
Creedmoor. And the MDT ACC was 5 pounds heavier than what the foundation is.
Okay.
That mic is just absorbing the recoil a whole lot better than what the aluminum does.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's going to knock out a lot of harmonics because it's got, better dampening qualities to it. So I could definitely see an advantage there.
Kreideman, I think we ordered you a 20-inch barrel.
So this is a great question. It's been the topic of conversation for quite a while now, but is there any advantage with the 20-inch barrel over the 18-inch on his Voodoo? Guys, the only advantage is a slight, and I mean slight, deviation in velocity. You're going to get just a little bit more out of the 20. The only advantage that I could really see on a 20-inch over an 18 is going to be the weight that is going to balance the rifle a little easier than an 18. Having to use less weight up front because you have the barrel weight.
Yeah, I bought one for that reason, but at the end of the day, it probably is not even noticeable. You know what I mean?
Correct. I mean, you're only talking about 2 inches of barrel.
Yeah. But
Going back up looking at comments, Bill Sweeney asked if one should join the PRS, like get a membership. My opinion, no, not unless you're going to travel and shoot matches for the points race.
Correct.
great answer.
So that's a good question because I did join the NRL series and I joined the PRS series, and it was so that the points would count at the VOD match. We've all agreed to make all 5 of those matches for the series.
Yeah.
And based on your finish, and then also with my finish at that one match, that could get you an invite to nationals. And, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't even go, but at least it'd be nice if I placed high enough to be able to get the invite to have the option to go shoot a match.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that one's only $30, right?
Yeah, it's $30 for PRS rimfire, so it's not like a full-fledged centerfire where you're paying, what is it, $90 or something like that?
I think you can get the centerfire and rimfire both for like 125 or 150, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you're out there to do. If you're out there to have fun or like really want to be part of the race. But yeah, you're going to have to do the driving and hit those matches for sure.
Yeah.
Not only you got to do the driving, you got to go shoot against the best in the world. I mean, you got to compete with Austin Orgain, you got to compete with Jake Vibert. Tate Streeter, Clay Blackketter, guys like that, and they live, breathe, and bleed shooting. That's all they do.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That makes you a better shooter.
Oh, definitely. I agree 100%.
It's I think that's the way. Kreideman and I were talking about it. It's like if you want to get better, shoot it. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you want to learn how to play guitar, practice with a guy that plays better than you. If you want to learn how to play tennis or golf or any sport, play with someone that's better than you.
Yeah, surround yourself by those that are better than you.
Yeah,
It'll make you better.
They'll definitely make you better.
One of the biggest takeaways, the very first true PRS sanctioned match we did was the one out in Utah.
Yeah.
And, I had two of the guys that made top 10 at that match, which, you had the best shooters, just like Charles was talking about at that event. And the biggest takeaway from that is 90 seconds, they had plenty of time to finish almost every single stage, even the ones where guys were only getting 10 rounds off out of 15. But they weren't hurried. It almost looked like they were relaxed, but everything was with a purpose.
Yeah.
The bag wasn't bring it up here and try to get it all. It was just set it up there, boom, get steadied, boom, hit. Go to the next one, move the bag, steady, hit. And they did it with very minimal equipment. I mean, those guys didn't have tons and tons of gear. It's just basic stuff. And
they had their favorite bag and their rifle for the most part.
If you watch most of the top shooters, they'll carry one, maybe two bags is all they carry. Most of them have a fortune cookie or a game changer and a pump pillow. That's all they have for bags.
Yeah, they've just gotten so comfortable with it and know exactly what they're doing. I noticed just doing positional shooting and over with practice and moving the bag up and down the cattle fence. You get smoother at it every time you do it. And with 22, you can shoot 300 rounds and not sweat it too bad. Compared to going, oh man, I got to reload all this crap when I get
Exactly.
back.
Exactly.
It's like, no, please no. But I thoroughly enjoy it.
Hey, Stratos27, I thought I answered that email. If I didn't, my apologies. I try to get to every email. I know I read it, and I thought I responded to that. But, yeah, it'd be great to be able to get one of those in.
You know what? I didn't answer it either, thinking you were going to answer it.
I thought I did.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, that would be
Stratos,
awesome for us to be able to do that. Apologize. All right. And, yeah, Bill, I just joined the Rimfire. I don't know how much centerfire I'm going to be able to do this year. Charles, you commented on that video the other day, and it's like trying to find, Burger 105 hybrids. It's like everything's out,
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, it was the primers.
Yeah.
Well, I got the primers. Well, then it was the powder. Well, I got the powder. And I've got a decent amount of bullets, but I don't have enough to shoot the entire season. And so I was like, well, let's settle in on this dasher and let's just do it. And I've got a couple hundred. But that's not going to last you a season. So I was like, well, I'll just get me some.
That'll
and
last
there's
you a
nothing.
match.
There's nothing.
I watch Powder Valley and places like that every day. When something comes in stock, 5 minutes, it's gone. It doesn't matter how much they get. It's gone just that quick.
Yeah. Yeah, you got about a 20-minute window and done.
Mark Hedrick said he also sent me an email about the tracked optic. I have the ELR. Okay, and then Mark, I also have your order packaged up, so you should have an email on that as well.
Smells appreciated, buddy. Smells appreciated.
Mark, let's see, I'm trying to think.
Mark Hedrick. Ray and Rick, I also sent you guys. Okay. That might have been the one. I saw one. It was to both of us. And I go, oh, Ray will answer. I'm writing a bit to help me get some supplies. Yeah, Joe, if you got that range that's $50 every fourth Saturday or whatever, definitely get out there and go have fun.
Yeah, Joaquin's got a question for Charles. Have you ever thought about getting into the long range 22?
I've shot some of the 22 matches. Within an hour of the house, they have the regular NRL 22 matches every month. They don't interest me. I like the NRL X style matches where it's positional and shooting just like a regular PRS match.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not doing the other one. But so, yeah, if it was, I've heard of some groups, I guess it's NRL 22, they just shoot out to 100 normally.
Yep, 100 yards, it's the same course to fire across the country.
Yeah, no, I would not. That would not interest me.
Ramsey says he knows where you can get some 105s at.
Awesome. Let me know, and I will definitely buy them. I need to get some Burger Hybrid 105s.
He's going to text me right now.
I just thought of it. A fella offered me some 105s the other day. I will see if he still has them or see if he wants to sell them.
The hybrids, right?
Yeah, 105 Burger Hybrids, yeah. If I can get the 500 pack, that'd be great, but if he's got more, I'll get more. So, we'll change gears for just a second. Guess what we have? Big shout out to the guys over at Thunder Beast, Ray and Zach. This is someone actually had requested to see if I could get my hands on one of these, and fortunately, I did. It is the new Thunder Beast Dominus. This is a 30 cal can. However, it is rated pretty much it passed all the SOCOM standards for 5.56. It is not a quick attach or a fast attach. It uses their Thunder Beast arms mount like this, and basically you screw it on, and then you have a locking collar that goes here. We did have a chance to play around with these when we were out in New Mexico.
Night, Shaggy.
And it's a pretty impressive can for something that can be full auto rated and go through 10 iterations of the SOCOM specs, and it be titanium. It's pretty incredible. So I will be doing a review on that here shortly, and maybe I'll compare it to like a Surefire, like the RC2 or something like that. I don't know if I'll break out the sound equipment, but
don't forget to tell YouTube this is for airsoft, by the way, because they'll get all
What are you talking about? This is a drink holder.
It's a solvent can.
It's a solvent trap. Anyone have any 77 SMK?
Man, that's beautiful looking. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate you being that nice.
Yeah. Okay. Joe Bender asked, how does the XTR3 compare to the Razor Gen 2? I'm going to be completely honest on this. Other than the XTR3 not having an illuminated reticle, which is a huge downfall, which they're talking about coming out with an illuminated reticle, it's very, very similar. The glass, I don't know if you're going to notice a difference in the glass. The glass almost looks identical to me. I do like the SC2 reticle a little better because it's got the 2/10 holds.
I like it for sure.
I've had no issues with it tracking or anything like that. The deal with burrs is done. All this paperwork's been submitted, so you should see me shooting a lot more burrs here this year.
Tyler Orth, great comment. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Practice Score, just to help out, but if you're having trouble finding a match, maybe you are familiar with Practice Score, but maybe you're not. You might be able to find something nearby that you may not have known about. So hopefully that helps, or maybe you already know, probably already know, but for those that
Practice Score, then you can also go on NRL pages, the PRS pages.
Yeah.
And pretty well find out. On NRL, you can find like the Border War series. You know, that's like a one day individual match that NRL's doing that's sanctioned. PRS does the regional series, and then they have the pro series, both sides of it.
Yeah, DW is talking about the Israeli ammunition, the IMI. They used to call it Razor Core, and everybody talked about like it was the second coming. And it was like, holy crud, I got to get me some of that. And so I bought quite a bit of that stuff, and none of my rifles liked it. None of them. And I was like, wow, that was a little bit of a downfall for me. Not a downfall, let down, if you will.
Ray, how many 105s are you looking for?
I'll take 500 or 1,000.
Okay.
I mean, as long as he's realistic on his price.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I would be happy with 500. I don't know how many centerfire rifles are left throughout the year. I know we've got Snipers Unknown. If that's the case, I'll just shoot a bolt gun, maybe shoot the 6-dasher. I'm not sure yet. I have no idea what I'm going to be shooting by then because I am looking at some of the newer Accuracy Internationals, and I'm in talks with those guys right now, so I might have some might have some cool stuff coming in.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen.
Wait, Mile High has 105 hybrids 100 count boxes in stock? I just checked them this afternoon. Hold on.
Breaking news. Born to be a shooter out. Josh is out there. Yeah, well, it was blowing out primers and destroying cases. Yeah, wow. That's not good.
Yeah, it's never good when you're blowing primers out.
No.
No, something's wrong. Something is not working well. Let's see, Mark. North Dakota. Well, what's the verdict?
Pulling it up right now.
This buddy of mine, he said he's going to check with his supplier and he'll let me know if he has any. He already sold the ones that he had the other day.
What are you shooting? Burgers, or are you shooting mostly what?
I'm shooting the 112 Barnes match burners out of the 6th grade. They're cheap and they flat shoot.
Nice. Yeah, I've been shooting those D-Tacs, the 115s with the coating.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try the 105 match burners out of the 6BR. See how they shoot.
Yeah, I'm showing out of stock. Burger 6mm, 105 hybrid,
Yep,
100 count box, out of stock. Yeah, I checked with them first. I deal with them quite a bit.
I was looking at Swanee's company earlier. He's got an option to pre-order. I don't know what his lead time would be on them, though.
Yeah, I've got some pre-orders in, but who knows how long this is going to take.
Here's something. I don't know who sent me that.
Who has the cases of 9mm for $180? I don't know, but that's a good price. I checked them already. They were out. The little monkey place?
Yeah.
Pre-order.
Oh,
pre-order.
Pre-order.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, Mississippi Buckeye says they're out of stock.
Charles looks like the guy that'd step in between dudes in a bar fight, and everyone backs down. That's funny. I used to be a bouncer for about 6 years.
There you go.
Tyler Orr says live. Joaquin says, thank you, Charles, for all the comments and experience you give out.
Oh, no problem. That's what we're all about. I mean,
That's
if
right.
we don't get new guys into the sport, it's going to die. So,
Yeah, I agree.
fellas, don't be scared to jump in. You can take a rifle that shoots 1 MOA with a box mag, preferably a box mag. Find a one-day match for $60 and go have fun.
Yeah, and you'll wish you would have done it earlier.
Oh, yeah. You don't need bags. You don't need a Kestrel. It helps to have data, but it's not a must. Guys at the match will help you do all that stuff. They'll loan you bags. They will give you tips on ways that they would do something, you know. And a lot of the top shooters, if you approach them right and say, hey, you know, I didn't shoot that stage very good. How would you have done it? What would you have done different than what I done? And you would be surprised of how many would actually take time and go show you, hey, you should have done it this way, or, you know, you should have started here, or stuff like that.
So Joe Moore about the last 3.
He said he put 3 in his cart with no error, but he didn't order it because he didn't need them. But it does show out of stock. So
Yeah.
yeah, and you know, Joe Moore says you need a 6 GT, and that's the thing. You know, when Charles was talking about just go out and do it, I don't recommend you go out and watch a match. If you're going to take the time to be out there, go ahead and take your rifle, go ahead and get signed up,
Just do it.
shoot the match. It's like Matt the very first time
Yeah.
he wanted to watch one,
Yeah, he
because
wa-
you're going to kick yourself for not actually shooting the match.
I think after
And-
the first stage, he was probably
Yeah.
like, man, I should have just.
And you don't need a 60 GT or a Dasher or a Creedmoor. If you have a 308, if you have a 6.5 Creedmoor, anything like that, and you've done a little bit of long distance shooting, you'll be fine. I'm not going to say don't be like us, because that path will be determined by how competitive you want to be. But what you're going to say is, well, you know, everybody's like 6.5 Creedmoor is not too much recoil. No, it's not too much recoil. But when you see these other guys that can shoot off of a position and the rifle doesn't even move, then you're like, wait a minute, they're doing this a whole lot more effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the reason? And, you know, if you're that person that's trying to finish up towards the top, you'll end up paying for that somewhere, and you're going to end up going with different chamberings and exploring these different cartridges. I've never, until the last year and a half, I've never been one to jump around with all these new cartridges like I have. That wasn't me.
It becomes an addiction, chasing the next best thing.
Well, I don't want to chase the next best thing. I want to settle in on one. And, I kind of went from 6.5 Creedmoor saying, you know what, I'll step down to that 6. And I was like, I kind of saw the light. And then I was like, wait a minute. I can do it with a lot less powder and a lot less recoil and still do the exact same thing. And then when Proof sent me the Dasher barrel, it was a no-brainer. I didn't have to buy that. Once again, big shout out to Proof. And it was like, hey, this is a perfect segue to get into that Dasher, see what it's all about. I still have yet to shoot it past the range because I'm not going to take a rifle that I can't feed. If it's not going to feed out of the mag, forget about it.
Don't you think some of that, though, is because of YouTube being able to give that information?
What's that?
Kind of bouncing around between cartridges.
No, it's. I think it's more of seeing what the shooters are using, and then not only that, it's no big secret, but there's certain conversations I've had with certain people that I can't repeat, and even they were exploring some 6-dasher, playing around with that in competition, and this was years ago, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going down that path, and here we are 2 years later.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it has to do with what is the Precision Rifle blog or whatever it is. They put out what the pros use every year.
Yep.
That's where a lot of this. Oh, we got to have a 6.5. Oh no, next year it's a 6. Now it's a Dasher or a BR variant. It's just spotting your misses is the name of the game in PRS.
Correct.
And whatever you can get for that 2850 to 2950 feet per second is going to be money.
Yeah.
It don't matter if it's a 22 caliber. It don't matter if it's a 6 caliber, a 6.5. It just, that's how it is.
Yeah. It's what's working now. And it's what's winning the matches.
And I would guarantee 2 years from now it'll be something completely different.
What's up, Abigail?
Hell, 2 months from now. There's Abigail. What's up, Abigail?
It wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of 22 Dashers or 22 BRs in a year or so in some of the matches, shooting like the 90 grain Sierra Match Kings.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Ramsey country.
Now, Ramsey was already doing that, but the complaint is when you get out to 1,000 yards or so, spotting the hits.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is tough. You got that little bee flying by that just kind of.
Looking back up, Orson Humphrey had a question on my issues with Vortex. Orson, I have had tracking issues with every Vortex I've ever owned except the Razor. The PST, the HST, the HSLR. I think that's the 3 models that I've owned in the Razor. If I was going to invest in a Vortex, get a Razor. It's just my personal opinion.
I agree.
Spend the money.
Joe Moore asked about vapor trails. I don't know what that is. Have you guys tried the vapor trails? Is that a bullet?
It's a 103 grain 6mm bullet.
Okay.
They are hand-turned copper, if I'm not mistaken.
I have not.
They are an amazing bullet, but they are expensive. Exactly.
Yeah. You said hand turned. I went, oh.
Yep.
Yeah. I bet you they're amazing.
I bet you we'll see more companies doing hand-turned bullets here in the very near future.
I would almost guarantee it.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Say no more.
Let's see. He'll be fine for 80% of the targets with 223 AR-15 at the regional match. He'll have a blast. Joe M. Well said. Just go out, have fun, shoot something. Shoot some 69, 77 grainers. Go freaking have fun.
I shot a 223 in a match last year and come in 7th. And we shot out to 1,160 yards.
Nice.
It doesn't matter what you have. Just go run it. I mean, if you will have an AR-22, 23 with a 16-inch barrel, okay, yeah, go run it. Go have fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best advice. I mean, we've been giving this advice for years now. It's if you're thinking about it, quit thinking. Sign up for the damn thing. Ask one of your shooting buddies to go with you and have them shoot. And you guys have a good, enjoyable time, even if you suck at it or whatever. Go have fun.
I agree with what Joe Moore just said. He don't think a new shooter needs anything that isn't already in their safe. Just go have fun.
That's it.
Let's see. But for the 22 LR, is the 116 twist just the industry standard?
I'll let you answer that since you've been going down that path.
That's what you see made. That's 22 long rifle between Ruger, CZ, and blah blah blah, all the way to Voodoo. But there is some with the 20-inch barrel, I think it was
22.
Or 22, yeah. There is a 1 in 9, and they're saying it's amazing past 200 yards. So will it be a game changer right now? Probably not. But as more get involved, and if they start making the targets smaller out to farther distances, where your standard off-the-shelf rifles are definitely not going to hit these things without a lot of luck and a little bit of magic. Yeah, it could change the way this game is designed. But as long as you can just buy ammo off the shelf, if it gets to the point of you're having to load 22 rimfire crap, you're going to see me just go back to freaking shooting centerfire, because then the whole sport and fun is gone to me.
That's like those cutting edge bullets that they come out with for the 22. Yeah, it's a cool concept, but they're going to be expensive. They're going to be a pain in the butt, and you can't shoot them in any of the PRS or NRL stuff.
Correct.
You have to shoot factory ammo. Those bullets are geared toward those guys that are wanting to shoot a 22 at 1,000 yards and hit consistently with it, is what they're gearing those bullets to.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually heard that up close they don't do that well.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah, for groupings. So yeah, it's really, it has a different use. It's for extreme long range in the 22s. Like when we were shooting at 700 with them, doing stuff like that is where that would excel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely would excel. And having the right gear for it.
Jacaki, no, I can't sell that barrel. I've waited almost 10 months for proof to get done with these two new six Creedmoor barrels. But I want to definitely keep that 6.5 around. It's still got plenty of life left, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
But I appreciate you asking.
Let's see.
If anybody with an Origin Action needs a barrel, proofs or Altus has a whole bunch of proofs they just got in today.
Nice.
Bump Tech says he won 500 of the 103 Vapor Trails. Already PRC. Me and John were shooting gas guns. I talked to you on the backstage.
Where you shot over the water? Is he talking to you or me?
I don't know.
I think that was the stage where you had
the coyotes. Unless he's talking to Charles, but I remember the water. There was a coyote.
You had a rock off to the right, and then you had a little. You had two that were on the edge of the water, and then it followed a roadbed and went all the way around the corner. If you're talking, there was two of them that you shot over the water. One was really long, and one was short, where you went from coyote to this other one, coyote to this other one.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, it just depends on which one.
I don't know. I sucked at both of them. It was horrible. Talked to you on the back stage where you shot over the water. Nice, man.
Yeah, I think they were actually back-to-back stages. I think, or pretty close.
That was right on the edge of that. I don't know. You call it the mesa. Is it a mesa?
All right, so let's see here.
On Kenny's comment, I'll have to disagree. I know he does a lot of barrels and stuff, but I've shot 3 of these proof prefits out in 6 Creed, and they hammer. I haven't ever had an issue with one of them.
I missed that comment. Where's it at?
I don't know.
He said there's no such thing as a shoulder prefit. Don't take the gamble.
Every single barrel for my Accuracy International, I can't speak for anything else, and he's seen it a million times. I mean, I can turn that screw a quarter turn, half a turn, unscrew the barrel, put the next one in. Doesn't matter if it's brand new or what.
Yeah.
And a lot of mine are proof prefits, and they all shoot. I mean,
they do, and it's freaking amazing how fast you can do that. It's like,
I did the same
I'm going to
thing.
shoot 6 Creed. Boom. 6
I
feet.
did basically the same thing. I hand tighten my barrels on my Origin Action. You know, I can show up to a match and say, "Oh heck, it's too windy for a 6 Creed today. I'm gonna shoot a 6.5 and screw a 6.5 barrel on it and go shoot it." I mean, it's
Nice.
just the way I do stuff. You know, headspace is good, so I roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jakaki says not to prove the LMT 6.5 Creedmoor. No, I can't sell that one, but I do have a brand new 20-inch 308. I think it might have 15 rounds out of it. I know you're not probably interested in the 308, but that'd be the only thing I could probably get rid of. I've got a couple of those.
Welcome, Thomas Rowland. Oh, he talked to me. Okay. Man, I wish I could put a face with it. That was so long ago for this brain. If it was last week or so.
A lot's happened in that time.
God, I've shot so many matches since then. Last year was a good year.
Mackev's asking me about the the zero comps. If you have 4,000 to spend on one, go for it. Would I pay that? No.
Makev, I do know that from people that have been testing it pretty heavily, you know who I'm talking about, and if you don't, he was on my chat one night. It's not living up to the price difference compared to other good optics out there.
If I was going to spend that money on an optic, I would go for the Tangnit's. What I would go for the Theata.
We'll do bump tech. Got your man covered already.
Does Bump Tech have his own channel?
Yeah, it sounds like he made some videos on it.
Nice. Yeah, that was an amazing match.
Oh, it was.
I
I would
enjoyed
love to go back to that again. I have to, it's the match I feel like I need to, redeem myself. Not win, but, going from, just getting my ass just completely handed. I think I'm going to sign up for that.
Eagle Eye said it really wasn't the point of the accuracy, it's the head spacing. He's documented 64 actions of a certain manufacturer with 2 to 8 thou head space difference. Yeah, I can believe that. I was on the phone with the guys at Proof for a while, actually talking to Greg and Sean. They just come off their win from the Vortex this weekend, which I hate I couldn't make. I really hate I couldn't make that match. And they told me, they tested tons and tons of actions, and the ones that had the most consistent numbers was at the time the Bighorn, the TL3. And he said you're not going to have to worry about that. And anyway, it's just information I'm sharing.
Nice.
And I'll agree with that. I have a set of headspace gauges I bought a year ago just for making sure. And I also measure all my brass. I've seen a 1,000 variant in the 3 barrels.
Yeah.
Is what I've seen so far.
Let me grab this real quick.
Watch your ears. This is a really, really good topic right here, and I do want to address this. So, Brian T says, how does a bullet not shoot good up close, but good long range? I think there is still a standing offer by...
Chris Wayne?
No, Litz. It says if you can prove that a rifle shoots better at long range than it does up close, I think there's a money thing involved, and because you hear guys saying, well, the bullet hasn't had time to stabilize yet. There's a lot of really, really good articles on what all's going on. If that bullet is doing this at 100, it's not going to get any better. It's already deviated from its path. It's not going to just magically center up because it's already lost where it needed to go in the first place. So it's a really good topic, and you can go down a big rabbit hole. What's your experience with this? Charles, I've always been under the thing. If it doesn't shoot well at 100, it's not going to shoot well at any further.
I agree. And also, if it shoots good at 100, that don't mean it's going to shoot good at 1,000.
No.
Yeah.
When I first switched to these Barnes match burners, I about pulled my hair out with them. I started them at 10 thousandths off and ran them to 70 thousandths. 100 yards. They would shoot a 1/2-inch group, good ES, good SD. I take and go out to 600 or 800 yards with them. They'd shoot a 10 or 12-inch group.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the heck is going on? A buddy of mine shoots them, and I sent him a message. I said, "Hey, what are you seating these match burners at?" He said, "Man, seat them at book length and go run them." I was like, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I told him what was going on. He said, "I had the same thing happen. 100 yards, they'd shoot lights out. At 600, they would shoot a 12-inch rig." I seated them at 100 yards. We had our little match finale last year. Seated them at book length, run out to the range, done a Saturday test, come back to the house, loaded up 120 rounds, went to our match finale the next morning, and ended up winning the finale. I missed 6 targets all day long, out to 1,360 yards with them. It just blew my mind that they want to jump 100,000s. Yeah, so basically don't try to chase the lands on stuff. You know, yeah, that's what's been banged into everybody's heads over the years. All the research I've done says a bullet across the board of many manufacturers jump 50 to 75 thousandths is where they found the most consistency on the jump. Across the board, it doesn't matter what bullet they are.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. You know, a lot of times right off the bat, people want to, you know, I just want to jump the minimum amount. I want this super long bullet and it'll still fit in the mag, and that might not be the right direction. You know, a lot of people say that 6.5s like to jump, you know, 50 to 60 thou, somewhere in there, or is it the 6? But then some people like to jam. You know, I mean, it just depends on the rifle.
I can't find it now, but someone was asking about the targets. The ones I just showed on that video today, these are by JC Steel targets. I had won $100 off on the prize table. But for that whole, it's the official NRL Rimfire 22 package, and it's $394. It comes with a lot of targets, so I was pretty excited. But I did get $100 off due to the certificate. So
Ramsey Country. Yeah, we've all told him that. He won't do it just because the fact we told him, and it doesn't have a 60-degree action. Or a 90-degree. It doesn't have the 60. It's got a 90. He's going to do what he wants to do. At this point in the game, he's well-versed enough. He'll make his own decisions. He'll make his own mistakes, and he can learn from those. End of story. All right, so Mr. X-Ring, what's that? The end. Any issues running aluminum scope caps that hold closed with magnets?
That's like the Tenebrex or whatever, ain't it? Don't they have a magnet that keeps them closed?
Yeah, so Loophole actually came up with those years ago, where it actually had magnets in it to keep them closed, and they were actually aluminum caps. Just never could find any that fit the scopes that I was running. I didn't have any issues with them. I know Sam used to actually run those, and he loved them. I don't know if I think they were the Aluma caps, is what they call them, or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Also, yep.
I don't know if I want that in a cap, especially with us going through barricades and all this. You know, because you know how aluminum is when you hit something hard like that. I think having the flexible ones that can kind of break away and do other things instead of damaging something. Call it a sacrificial lens cap.
I started running one of the neoprene bikini covers that you can just pull over the top of the scope.
Yep.
That's what I started running at matches. I mean, you ain't got to worry about breaking them. You pull them off right before the stage, dial, and go.
Yeah, not getting dust all in the turrets and everywhere else.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely helps. Get yourself some rainproof gear.
Joe Moore asked if I find the seating depth first or if I find the charge weight first. Joe, all load development I do is I'll go run a Saturday test. I'll start in a velocity range I want to be in and go down 10 charges and 0.2 grains. I'll find my velocity node. I prefer about 6 feet per second over 0.6 grains of powder. If I can't get that, I'll keep playing with it. And then I'll go find my seating depth.
Nice. Yep. So this is really good information, guys.
Thanks,
for anybody that lives in Minnesota. Bump Tech says his name is Mike Olson, and he is from Minnesota. He has his own matches at his own farm. Has targets of 450, 840, 1,000, 1,350, and go back to 2020. We have PRS matches and 22 matches. So, guys, if you're near that area, you might want to check them out.
Yeah, for sure.
It's good information.
That's awesome, Mike. Thanks.
Sounds like we need to go hit that one up and do a Isyour6 and X-ring meet and greet type deal and shoot a match.
In Minnesota?
Heck yeah, why not?
Why
Let's
not?
do it.
In the summer.
Yeah, it definitely has to be summer.
Let's do it in the middle of the winter. Make it fun.
It's like golfing in the snow with white balls or something. I mean, I already got a bad enough time as it is. Let's see. Factory rifles cost as much as a custom barrel. So did you? Yeah, Joe, you answered this one already, correct, Charles?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we're not missing some other Tim Davis, 3 Lug Nation, baby. Rick, did you put out a video today? I did a really quick live chat just talking about some NRL targets that would actually work good at your property, Carterman.
Did you bring those targets in here?
No.
Gotcha.
Have you
Those
tried?
little target sets from that place, that's a nice little set of targets.
Yeah, and at the match in Tennessee, we noticed those. There's a lot of the double hangers. There's
Yes.
6 of those.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was... I think that was the first time I had seen or come across one of those double hangers that style.
No, I think Chris has had them.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's had a couple of those.
maybe that's why I can never win. I don't see the top one. Red
Do
dot.
y'all have a spinner in your arsenal yet for practice with?
Not-
Big ones only.
Yeah, just for center fire.
Need to get
pistol.
one of the for the rimfire. You don't see them very often.
Oh, we saw them at the last match. 2 of them.
Yeah, they kicked my butt too. I could
No,
never get the timing
you
right.
didn't have to spin it. You just if you're a smart man, you would shoot the one that's worth the most important thing first before you go hitting the bottom one and have it doing this the whole time and I'm engaging it.
See, the way
This-
we've got to do ours here is you've got to shoot the spinner and get it moving out of the way, and then shoot the target behind the spinner.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
cool.
Yeah,
Favorite
it is a
folding
pain in the butt.
EDC knife. Oh, I opened up the packages sitting in there.
Red Dawn for me, the folding EDC knife is, he said, steel and blade shape. The steel is going to be something like 204P, 390, LMAX,
LMAX.
one of those 3. And the blade shape, I'm going to go with what they call a clip point or drop point and partial serrated.
Gotta have serrations on mine. Hey, there's 6 rudders. You ready for that match? Let's see. John Rick did a video on those targets. Yeah. Be shooting with rudders at Clinton House. James Henderson, summertime only. I'm working on what the hell does that say? Bemidji? Where hell actually freezes over. Yeah, that's pretty cold, my friend. Bobtech is in heart of Minnesota, Tornado Alley.
No, Tornado Alley's Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Marks, I've heard this before, that Jake Vibert puts on a barrel, shoots 1,200 rounds, and doesn't touch it, doesn't clean it, doesn't anything it. You know, I mean, if that's the way he does it, that's the way he does it. And he's a very accomplished shooter. But is he putting 1,200 rounds down in 3 months? You know, if he's doing that, then I don't know. What do you think, Charles?
I don't think I've ever taken the copper out of any of my barrels. The only thing I do is because of 6 Creed and a lot of the other 6mm variants, they're bad about a carbon ring in the throat.
Correct.
So I will make sure every 150 or 200 rounds I clean my chamber out. Other than that, I run a patch through it and call it a day.
I go 200 rounds, strip, copper, shoot 15, 20 rounds, and then start over again.
The vicious cycle.
Jakaki says LUDT X-Ring second round coming. It's already come around and gone. So
Jackie.
yeah, so
You gotta watch my video, man.
So I put like 4 on the initial order. I think I put 6 out. I think I had 6, and it sold out instant. I mean, it was so fast I couldn't even blink.
Yeah.
And then this afternoon, after waiting, we had ordered 10, and all 10 of those were gone before. I mean, before I was packaging them up when I came over here, and didn't even get to talk about them on the live chat. So I don't know how long it'll be. It does take them a while, and I have to pull a lot of strings to try to get them lasered up. So unfortunately, that's where it's at. I'm waiting on one email because there's one person that might have screwed up their order, and if they respond back, that cat skinner, then we'll see. Right now, I'm obligated to send them out, but I don't know if they meant what they meant.
So it's just a bad email? Or was it
there were a couple of... I'll get into it later.
All right. Joe M. Yeah, I don't know who that shooter was again, but if you're getting a brand new barrel every 1,300 rounds, and they just keep sending them to you, yeah.
Joe Moore asked this question of you, Charles. Have you tried the Eric Cortina method for seating depth, or is that pretty much the same way everyone does it?
I have not yet, really. I've watched Eric's video on that a couple times, and it makes sense. He's saying start, 20 thousandths back or whatever, you feel safe to do, and work back in 3 thousandths. I can see where that will be a big benefit, because most people, they're wanting to do the 10 thousandth increments. 10 thousandths is kind of like you doing a powder charge in 0.5 grains. You're going to miss nodes with those bigger jumps. So, yeah, I can see where that would be benefit. Me, I don't take that kind of time to do it. Maybe I should, but I go for like a 5 or 6 SD, low ES, shoot a small group, take it to 1,000. If it holds together, I'm good and go. We don't shoot small groups in what we do. That's what Eric does. So
it sounds like fun right here. You guys should come to Washington in May for the MDT Steel Challenge helicopter stage.
It's a long ways.
That would be fun. Here, they didn't run it last year. I don't know if they'll do it this year, but we had what they called the Heat Stroke Open out in western Oklahoma. And they had a helicopter stage. You went up flying around with an AR in flight shooting targets with it. Everybody says that was a blast.
I saw a video on that, or one like it. It was a match that had that. And I was like, that'd be worth it right there.
Joaquin, yes, you did jump on that like a spider monkey. I was like, holy crap, I just listed that like a couple seconds ago. And that's, like I said, I sent you something else in there to say thanks. You'll like it. All right. Brian Berg asked, speaking of Eric Cortina, you guys ever played with tuners? You guys, Charles is going to ask you because we don't. We haven't. I'm not planning on it at this point, but...
I've said it before in comments when people's brought it up. In my opinion, a tuner will be awesome if you're shooting one distance. You tune the load in, shoot it at that distance for that. But with us, your ES and SD makes a big difference in shooting out to 1,000, 12, 1,500 yards. I just don't see how the tuner can make up for a bad ES or SD, which is generally why you're getting bad groups out of stuff.
Oh, jeez. He just got done with the Volquartsen and all that, and he says, who wants to trade their Voodoo for 9mm 223 and 22 long rifle ammo plus cash?
Sign yourself up. Oh, Orson.
Heck, in that deal, I've got 10,000 primers I'll trade for a Voodoo.
I'll trade some used lotto tickets. Maybe even winners. You never know. What up, Eagle Eye? How you doing, Kenny?
William, by the way, I just got your email. The only variation that I'm going to be offering at this time is going to be partial serrated. Now, I've since been able to become an authorized Microtech dealer. I don't want to be just like every other Microtech dealer, so I don't know if I just want to list a whole ton of stuff on there. I don't know. I'm still dealing with that right now. I never wanted to just, sell knives on a website. What are your thoughts on that?
Just cool ones, that's all.
Everybody's definition of cool is different.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Ramsey Country was backing up what Charles said here, and he says it doesn't make bad extreme spread or standard deviation better, but it can improve your group.
I agree with that. That's why I think they'd be better off served using them for the one distance you're going to shoot and go from there.
What's up, Bad Billy?
Bad Billy 429.
Yeah, Joe Bender. See, he says he wants a DLC coated blade. That's exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm thinking about offering some things like this. Now, this is going to be an expensive price point. You guys know I do some of the torture tests on the Microtechs. You've seen Rick do them. And people are like, who in the heck pays, one of the comments today was, who pays $350 for a knife? And it's like, well, I guess you don't know what these things cost, Of course, I didn't answer it. I just let it go. But, something like this, it's not going to be a normal Scarab 2. I mean, this is a DLC-coated blade. It has coated internals as well to be more corrosion resistant. Carrying some things that are a little out of the ordinary from what you'd see at most shops, but not getting into the customs because you're already getting into, more than what a Glock costs territory there. So, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll just be some exclusive things.
These are great knives, especially if you get one of these. I might have known the guy that made one of these.
Or two, yeah. Sell the units you like on the main page, then offer a tab link through for credit purposes to the main site. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Oh, geez. DW says he went to Murphy last night. So he went to River Valley, and he left with a light wallet. Last time we visited River Valley, we left with a light wallet.
Didn't we? That's that place we went.
Yeah, that's the
on
one.
The way back from the match, DW. Yeah, all we did was we could have just drove by, threw $300 out the window, kept on going.
Davey J says he'd get an X-Ring Scarab too. Maybe I need to do a run of these. I know, I guess it's okay to talk about it. I know we have some more of the DLCs coming through here in the next couple weeks, so maybe I can pull a few. I don't want to take a gamble on it because, some people, when they're paying that kind of money for a knife, maybe they would not want the X-Ring logo on it. Maybe they just want a Scarab too.
I think it'd be cool right here.
And it'll have the blade flutes on it.
I guess
there's really no place on the chassis. I wouldn't want to do the anodizing. Go through that's type 3 mil-spec hard cut on those.
I hate to see it on here though.
Oh, it makes a beautiful mark on DLC.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
Man, you're so calm. Yeah, I think Joe had texted on my little video I had up. Are they in DLC? And I'm like, no, unfortunately. Style fixed blades for self-defense. I'm not familiar. I'm not a knife guy.
There's not a lot of fixed blades in Microtech's inventory. There's a few, not many.
Yeah. It is what it is.
I got two of these.
Oh, you lucky guy.
5/8 24 and half 28. That'll be fun. Interested to see.
What's the plans on these? You gotta...
No plans.
No plans?
All right, so shooting a 6x47 yesterday in a match, I hit a 4-inch by 6-inch plate at 900 yards back to back.
Nice.
I have a tuner on that rifle. It might only be mental, but I think it made the groups better.
Ramsey, what's your thoughts on a tuner at different distances? Once you tune in for, 500 yards, is it going to make things worse at 6? Or is it going to be... What's your thoughts on that? What a B Molly. Special elite, like the blade shape and the serration.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some of those back in. I do have an order for those, Malloy, but I don't know how long that'll take. Those knives have been unobtainium here lately.
Yeah. Oh, without any holes in the blade. Just nice clean blade that doesn't get cheese stuck in the holes.
Orson, there you go. There's no holes in that blade.
What kills the warranty?
So Shaggy was talking about, then again, it's not that hard to polish yourself. Time consuming, yes. Hard, no. Just because you polish a blade does not necessarily mean it's going to kill the warranty. As long as you don't polish the lock mechanisms and create a problem to where the knife fails because you've altered the blade locks or something like that, you should be fine.
I sold the Merlot for $700. That's a good score, Bad Billy.
Why doesn't Microtech show a picture of every knife they have ever made? Because, Drew, it would be tens of thousands. Right now, as far as SKUs go, for pictures and blade configurations, there were over 6,000 different SKUs. And, yeah, I don't see that happening. It is a small company, but it's a lot bigger than people realize.
Well, especially with the Dragon Slayer and all those crazy
Oh, yeah.
customs. Yeah. It's like... And the customs are phenomenal.
So, Charles, do you have a 6GT? Or Ramsey?
No, I don't have one. I will probably have one in the near future.
I think Ramsey might.
I'm sure if I was a betting man, I'd say Ramsey probably has one.
In the Mark V, between the 525 and 735, besides the 35 hour.
Don't know. Haven't played with it.
I haven't played with any Mark Vs. I do know on the Night Force, the 7 to 35 has better glass than what the 5 to 25 does.
If you only choose one suppressor. For bolt gun, only choose...
If it's one for bolt gun, I'm going to say a Thunder Beast. Now you said suppressor, you didn't say integrated brake / suppressor, because the Maverick is pretty. It's pretty awesome. I do like it. I like how it's configurable. But just for straight bolt gun, I just run a Thunder Beast, like an Ultra 7 or an Ultra 9.
No, but it's saying, would you choose the Sandman S, the Nomad 30, or the Maverick?
Oh, of those three?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. Between those three, I mean, the Mavericks, it's got a huge diameter. I almost brought the Maverick just because I knew there would be some questions. But that Maverick...
Actually, it's about as fat as that one.
Yeah, it's bigger than that. But the Maverick is just nice because you can configure it into so many different lengths. The Sandman S is actually somewhat of a loud can. That's the one Wayne was talking about today. I've shot the Sandman S quite a bit. It's not as quiet as you would think it would be. It's not bad. The Nomad, couldn't say on that one. But then again, Maverick's the most expensive of those three. Oh, do that one right there. Charles, what's your opinion on that?
It's really whatever you want to do. I mean, it's one of those deals where everybody has their own way of developing stuff. What might work for me may not work for Rick or Ray. What works for them may not work with me. So it's one of those deals. Just establish what you want to do and roll with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Hey, Darren, how you doing? Old school shooters.
If it was me on that, Joaquin, I would build the best load you can build with the lowest ES and SD that you can get. It's my personal opinion.
And then if a tuner could make it even better, then go for it.
Exactly.
But I mean, I think load development's where you got to start. Because if not, you're kind of just cheating, right? You're not helping.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of short. I don't know. You're not. I don't think you're doing it in the order that it should be done in.
Yeah, Joe Moore, I know that Thunder Beasts are hard to find in stock right now, especially the Ultras. I've been trying to source some for an agency, and it's been really tough. But, yeah, they're just out of stock right now. That's the problem. Bad Billy asked a really good question. and I'm going to answer this as truthfully as I can. And I'm going to have people argue probably, but his question is, was the glass better on the PST2, which that's Orson's scope, on that chromed out 22 build you did over the Arkin? In my opinion, the Arkin glass was better. I spent a lot of time with both of those. Not as much time with the PST2, but I've shot a lot of PST2s before. The glass was better in the Arkin. No doubt about it.
And that was the SH4 that you had, right? Not the EP4?
That is correct. And my understanding is the EP4 has better glass.
Yeah, that's what I've heard also.
I was actually impressed with that. I mean, I said it before, but big shout out to Big Country. I'm going to get it shipped out tomorrow for him, and then get it back to him, because I know he just got his. Oh, by the way, he just got his Remex all together. He showed me the groups, shot impressively, said he shot 250 rounds with 0 malfunctions or feeding issues with that. So sounds like he's got a winner there.
It sounds like it's going to run well.
I want to go back up. I don't know if a lot of guys know this or not, that Shooter's World Precision versus Varget. I've been playing with some Varget, and I've been playing with some of the Shooter's World Precision also. I like the Shooter's World Precision better than I do Varget, and it's cheaper. It's like $200 for an 8-pound jug of it versus $240 everywhere, like Powder Valley and stuff.
Yeah, that's what. And you can find it a lot easier.
Yes.
Yeah, I ended up trying out the it was a SW instead of the H4350 to try it out, the comparable to, but it's slower. And
your Shooter's World 4350 is your slowest variant in the 4350 family.
Yeah.
If you want something comparable to like your H4350, look at the long rifle.
Yeah, I haven't had any experience with it. Outlaw Josie Wells, I haven't forgot about you. You will have a package coming. We're trying to get some stuff. I'm just going to send you a new one. But I haven't forgot about you. But to answer your question, yes, I have handled and I've also owned those Sabenzas. Actually, I spent some time with Chris Reeve personally, so back in the day. And, that company was sold off to his wife. I think, didn't Chris pass away? I'm not sure if he did or didn't.
I'm not sure.
But he used to come around quite a bit.
What powder and charge are you running? Oh, he's asking Ryan. I don't know who Ryan is. Joe.
I think he was asking Kenny what powder he was running in the GT is what he was asking.
Oh, okay.
I think he's still alive. Or somebody else, I was thinking.
That's good to hear.
Wasn't sure.
You just never know.
Nice knives.
Oh, can't find it. Try Powder Valley, Tim Cook.
Yeah, Powder Valley, Natchez, Brownells. I've bought in Precision from all three in the last 2 weeks.
Here's a question for you guys. Darren Becker asks.
I'm going to defer on that question.
I haven't messed with the Q Fix any. I just know Q's a jackass. That's all I'll say.
I don't like to make enemies. You said it.
I don't care.
No, that's good. The problem is I'll run into them, so I'm just leaving that alone.
Yeah.
I'll run into them quite often. All right.
Did you guys send your videos off to Lapua or Ely for ammo testing?
Ryanburg, I did, and I ended up getting 25,000 rounds of the Lapua Center X. That should last me at least a week or two, so I think I'm good. I don't, it sounds kind of stupid, but think about it, guys. You're not going to shoot the barrel out in your 22, in your Voodoo. It's not going to happen.
And you're going to have ammo.
And you're going to have ammo for that rifle for at least a couple years of good competitive shooting.
And who knows what's going to happen to ammo?
Who knows?
And that couple years, that would be if you're chasing every match in the country.
Yeah, but between practice and matches and... Hell, yesterday... What the hell's today, Monday? Yeah, yesterday... 300 rounds later, 2 days before that.
I burned 70 rounds.
300
That
rounds.
was it.
Well,
I had no
You don't
idea
need as
you
much
went through
training.
300 rounds. When you told me that, my jaw just dropped.
well, when I went to VOD, I shot 300 rounds. too.
Gee, you and Kreiderman have been killing it. Kreiderman says he's almost out of ammunition.
I know,
I was
that's
like,
what he told me
"Ooh."
tonight. Yeah, so I have to send mine off still. I'm waiting for my other one to show up so that I can send mine off. Hopefully Josh is out there. Josh is he is gonna go to bring his to Voodoo, so the plan was for him to take mine as well. Hopefully it doesn't
Oh, to Lapua.
to Lapua, yeah. So hopefully that doesn't change, so we'll see what happens.
DW's asked, who's got 308? What kind of 308 you looking for, DW?
What you looking for, DW?
You just looking for
Full metal
6
jacket.
rudders. Ray, can one expect to see me at the PSA gathering? Yes, I will absolutely be there. So will this guy. Believe it or not, we're gonna be demoing the R² K9 suppressor for Microtech.
Come over and shoot it.
Yeah, so I'll actually have my personal MP5 out there, the Navy, and then I'll have like a Glock 17 and maybe a SIG 226. And if you want to take some shots at steel and hang out with us, we're going to be down there for at least 3 days. So
That's 3 days long.
yeah, that's 3 days.
Shit.
Well,
That's
it's going to take us 3 days. They're actually going to drive the Gurkha down there.
You think we can bring the 22s?
You bring whatever you want. It's a gun range. I just don't know how much time we're going to have. That's a work day.
I know, but sometimes you got to shoot. Of course, after listening to that all day long, I might not want to.
Yeah, Ryan, the thing is they asked if I wanted to try the Midas Plus, and I was like, no, I'm just going to stick with the Center X.
Yeah, it's cheap enough. It shoots well, though. I mean,
It's good enough.
yeah. You have to tell us how the ammo shoots out of the other video you're coming.
Well, Tyler, I will tell you this. Rick has shot my lot number, and it shoots great. Matt has shot my lot number out of his Voodoo,
Shoots well.
and it shoots well. It's like these
They're
things
great.
really
It's
like
all the
Center
same,
X. Yeah.
Kreiderman's shooting out of a RPR and shoots well.
Yeah.
They are decent.
Well, I even sold him some Ely. I had a bunch of Ely, and it shot well out of his Ruger.
Yeah, I'm having issues liking Ely because of the wax right now.
Just take a rag with you on the wax; it'll be good.
I think a blowtorch, where you just like turn them upside down and just fan the flame over it so it all drips out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'd work.
Simon Klein is asking a question. Rick, have you ever shot from 500 yards?
Shot from what?
What, a pistol? I mean, yeah, we
shot a match at 22 long rifle 500 yards.
Yeah, we shot 500 yards. We practiced out at VOD. We'll shoot the 500 yard target out there.
But when it comes to center fire, yeah. I think my farthest shot last year was, what was it, 1780? No. What was the farthest one in Hornady? 14 something or
1375.
1375, yeah. Anyone use the Norma TAC 22? No. DW is asking, where do you get the OTD? Yeah, Simon, I don't know. Maybe you can add on to that question. I can give you a better answer. Shaggy, how we going, buddy?
Later, Shaggy.
With positive compensation with regards to ballistics.
No, I do not. I might know what it is, but I've never heard of that. I don't know what positive compensation is.
No clue.
Charles?
Nah. Nope.
Positive.
I keep stuff simple.
No, I keep stuff simple. Load development for me is 10 minutes. Good enough, and that's it. I don't play around with it anymore. I know a lot of guys really, like you were talking about with load development. I always say 1 minute, but I expect better. But if I get, just like that one video that I put out there, that was literally a 6-dasher load that, and I hate to say it because you're always supposed to build up to it, but if you look and see what all the PRS guys are shooting, and you go to that PRS blog and it says they're shooting 32.3 to 32.5 grains, 105, burger hybrids, and then I just set the overall, I didn't even measure the run out on that barrel. I mean, nothing. All I did, I literally set it to what I thought would be a factory length, stuck it in there, shot half minute. That's it. I'm going to stick with that. I'm not going to chase it anymore. I'm not going to play around with it. The thing might be capable of quarter. I can't hold a quarter. It's good enough. So
I agree.
That's how simple I keep it.
Tyler
And you know that I'm telling the truth.
Tyler sold the Voodoo this weekend, going to be all in on the Rimex. Still considering ordering a 22-inch Voodoo.
Dang, Tyler, you should have mentioned it up here on the board.
Man, you should have just texted us. Kits, X products on its way.
On the whole load development thing, I really think a lot of guys overcomplicate it.
Yes, they absolutely do.
They
But then
wanna
again,
chase this and-
Charles, some people are geared that way. To them, it's almost like it's like your bench rest guys, where they really want to get as the smallest group they can possibly print out of this rifle. Mm-hmm. For me, it's not like that. As long as it feeds, as long as I'm getting decent velocity, I'm going to call it good. I'm not going to buy 20 different bullets, see which one does the best. I do keep it really simple.
I understand where the bench rest guys are coming from, because they do have to shoot little groups at long distances.
Yes.
We don't. We've got to hit a 15-inch piece of steel at 1,000 or whatever. So that's all that matters in our game. 1 MOA or less, roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to shoot half-inch groups. It's not necessary.
Hey, DW, I put inlays in all day today, sitting at a chair making knives, and I still, it's kind of low, but it's like 5,600 steps. So he's asking me if I got 500 yards.
Walked 500 yards lately.
K24.
Positive compensation is getting a barrel whip timing to where the bullet is exiting on a downward whip. Whip.
Whip it good. No.
I've never thought about it that way. I just roll with a low ES and SD and roll with it.
So this intrigues me a little bit. How do you know if it's on a downward whip or an upward whip?
Or your bullet placement is.
Maybe the bullet hitting low compared to up high or right or left.
I don't know. You think those truck axles wouldn't bend, but they do.
No, they do.
They do this. I don't know. There it is.
Yeah, I'd like to hear some more, more elaboration on this. I really would, on how you're supposed to know exactly where it is exiting. I mean, you're trying to find the node, but how would you know if it's on the positive or the negative?
I think the only way is either
We're doing the worm.
the like a super, high speed camera, or by the bullet holes.
I mean, in theory, wouldn't finding your velocity node be basically the same thing? Because your velocity, the explosion's what gives you the harmonics. So finding the velocity node, in theory, would be finding where, the bullet's exiting the barrel the best, I assume. I've never looked at any of that stuff, so.
Yeah, so now Eagle Eye says, hence a benefit for clocking the high side muzzle lands at 6 or 12 on a custom barrel. And Kenny and I have talked about that. But how, as a low developer shooter, anything else, are you going to be able to determine exactly what stroke it's on? Is it on the downstroke or on the upstroke? How do you determine that? And I know what you said, Charles. You're saying, is it high or is it low? But based on what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark's saying should.
Yeah, and so Drew Bradley, high-speed camera, 120,000 frame rate. And you try to rent one of those things. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Assuming the whip is up and down, not side to side. Yeah, there's also that going on too. Have a good night, Bill.
We'll
Good
see
night,
you,
Bill Sweeney.
It helps show a wide node versus a narrow node.
Okay. I think he's talking about clocking at 6 and 12. That still doesn't tell you where it's at.
Where it's coming out at. Hunts BD. I've been planking with a 36 grain Remington bucket.
Hunts
Bullets
BD.
tried Center X this week, and Center X much cleaner, but whatever coatings on that Center X was as slick as...
Yeah, when you load
You
10
are not
rounds,
lying.
it is like you can't even hold on to the bullet.
Then
I
when you
think
go to-
Hunts BD ordered a knife as well. I'm not sure.
Then when you
Somebody
go to
did.
pick your rifle up, you're like, feels like you gotta squeeze on a...
All of the SK stuff is the same way. Like the rifle match and all that stuff. It's a nightmare to put in a magazine.
I'll take it oily all day long over frickin' that damn 10X wax shit that makes my frickin' rifle nut.
Ramsey says you shoot paper at 10th grain basically increments and see the impact. But shouldn't your... Okay, so your impact's not... I mean, it is going to go up, but it'll get a node. So is it the one below where the node is, or... I don't know.
That's going to be tough to figure out because... Say you zero the rifle, right? Now you start adding more feet per second. It's going to climb, but is it climbing because it's at the whip, or is it because of the...
Yeah, I still don't know how you're going to determine the whip. I'm just... You guys are losing me here, and this is driving me bonkers because I want to understand it. But... And I get it. So for those that hadn't done this, and we've talked about this before, just real quick. So when you're trying to figure out if when you're on a node, you could load, let's say this is starting at 40 grains, and you start shooting, and let's say you do 3/10 grain increments. So 40 grains, 40.3. Well, just imagine if you go from 40, we'll just say this is 40, and this is 45 grains, because you know that the impact's going to climb because of velocity. What you'll see is these little nodes appear where a variance in powder doesn't make that much of a difference in elevation, okay? And it doesn't matter if it's left or right. You can get that sorted out later with your run out and everything. But what you're looking for is staying away from if this is 42.5 and then just going up to 42.8 makes it jump 2 inches. That's not a good place to load because you're not on a node there. You're looking for clusters of groupings based on the charges, and those are you'll usually see a low node and a high node. Is that correct, Charles? The same way you would do it? Exactly. So this is kind of common knowledge. A lot of people don't want to take the time to do this, but I'm still trying to figure out how I would know if it was on the down or the up whip, basically.
I like Joe M's comment the best. He says, you're wasting barrel life for no reason. Half MOA groups is plenty for PRS. Work on solid positions instead of chasing F.
Amen, Joe M. Yep. That's my point exactly. I don't burn a lot of ammunition. I mean, I make my rounds count. He can tell you that. When I go out, it's with a purpose. I don't burn through a lot of ammo. I don't just shoot aimlessly. Yeah, I mean, it's got to have a purpose to it. Okay, so we got on the topic, and I think you were on here one night, Charles, and we talked about, AJ, or aerodynamic jump. Does that come into play with you with all of these matches, or do you even worry about it? And for those that weren't here for that night of conversation, basically, aerodynamic jump takes your twist rate, or takes your twist in your barrel. So if you've got a left or right twist, which most people have a left or right twist. Okay, so I'm going to make this really easy. So let's say your bullet is spinning left to right, okay? If wind is pushing from the left to the right, that's actually going to make this bullet go down. But if wind is pushing from the right to the left, now your bullet's going to climb up. Now, it's still going to do all this dropping and everything else, but you have to think of it trying to chew into this. Think of it as a wave, and this thing trying to climb it, okay? So if the wind is coming from right to left, the bullet's going to go higher. If it's coming from left to right, it's going to push it down lower. So that's what aerodynamic jump is, and that can be shown in the Kestrel as well. I think it factors for aerodynamic jump.
Yeah, unless you turn it off, it will.
Unless you turn it off. And a lot of the pro guys were telling me, you need to turn that off. They said, you're going to get variances, because we had uplift, and I said, we're going to tell you and help you out on these valleys for the uplift, but you need to turn that the aerodynamic jump off. He's just go ahead and zero it out. Don't be messing with that. And so it is something that's real, but do you worry about it? Do you just turn it off?
Mine's off. When I first got a Kestrel, I went and talked to Justin Watts. He owns Falbore Precision. And I said, Justin, how do I set this thing up? He said 600 to 700 yards. He said, true your velocity.
I sent you a
He
picture.
said, go to 1,000 and true your BC. I was like, well, what about all these other settings? And he just said, let me see that. Went through and turned off everything I needed turned off. And I went back through it. My aerodynamic jump's been off since day one in my Kestrel.
Okay, so I do have a pretty elaborate drawing here of the up whip and down whip and what's going on. Hold on, I got to lock it out. But, and I'm intrigued by that, by the math and science behind it. However, I'm not going to chase that, because there's so many other things that I would need to work on before I'm worrying about if it's on a down slope or up, so, you know, if it's on an up whip or down whip. If you're just interested and you want to find out, I mean, there's people that want to know these things. I want to know about it, but I'm not going to chase it. I'm not going to do it.
Thanks, Grinding Dust. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Grinding Dust.
Well, and there's people, I know an IT guy out there that just, he wants to know every in and out of everything. And I'm just like, just go shoot. Just shoot the,
yeah, there's a saying,
rifle.
and only my closest friends know this, and I say this. I was like, just pull the damn trigger. Excuse the French, but it's like, don't overthink this. It's not rocket science. That's it. And, you know, we've heard that a million times, but it's actually putting that into application. It's like, dude, the load is good enough. Don't mess with it anymore. Right now, you can't do what it can do. Okay, so that's what you need to work on. And it's kind of why I threw out the positional stuff. I mean, that's the stuff that's going to win you the points.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with most of the rifles that most of us shoot. None of us will ever be able to shoot that rifle to 100% of its potential.
Correct.
You know, we're human. We're going. There's error there. So just learn what works for you. Go practice positional. And when you start getting frustrated, stop. Walk away from it. Go do something else. Go lay on your belly and shoot a target at 600 yards. Gain confidence back. Then go back and work on your positional stuff.
Yeah, work on your wind calls. Yep. Anything. You know, everything can use some fine tuning. You can't assume that just because you're on a bipod and that you've got a rear bag or you've got a monopod in the rear that you're going to shoot a good group. I've seen a ton of great rifles where I've pulled the trigger, shot a half minute easily over and over and over again, and then the owner of the rifle, the best group he can print's a minute and a half.
Yep.
That's his technique. That's him not doing that properly, and that's in the best case scenario. Without putting it in a fixture, that's the best scenario. On a bipod with a rear bag. Even when you first started off doing this, your groups were larger, and until you developed a technique, that's when they started shrinking down, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and I've seen that a lot in different sniper qualifications, that when you get newer snipers out there, initially, they're like, dude, there's no way. And then after just a few training sessions, their groups start getting smaller and smaller because they learned the technique. Then, once they've mastered that, let's work on this position.
This is what you want to master besides positional shooting, and that is said right there, well said, is being able to read the wind. If you can read the wind, like, that is a huge bonus.
It's,
like,
huge.
And
if you think that's hard, do it with a 22.
Yeah.
This 22 long rifle is harder than any long range shooting I've ever done.
Yep. You know, I don't care how good you read the wind either. There's going to be days when you get to certain terrain, it's going to kick your butt.
Absolutely.
Where you're standing out might be 5 mile an hour wind, but you got a cut out there at 850 yards. It's got a 20 mile an hour wind.
Yeah.
And you don't realize it.
That's where
Matt, the other day,
Utah, holy hell.
No, when we were just shooting out the other day at 372 yards, I would shoot and I'm like, I'm holding a half mil left. And I would get off the rifle. He would set his up. We're talking 2-3 minutes. And instead of half mil left, he's 1.2 mils right.
Yeah.
And then Matt gets up there, and he couldn't find it at all. I've never seen that kid so frustrated in my life, just because that 22 just gets whipped around so much.
Well, he went. No, did Matt go first? Yeah.
No, I went first. Then you went.
No, then Matt went, and he couldn't hit. He finally got
It was
frustrated.
me, you, then him.
And then I jumped on, and then he jumped on again after.
Yeah, he was upset. I was like, dude, your elevation's perfect. It's the wind calls that's getting you.
Yeah. He's a great shooter, by the way.
The one place we have our 22 X matches at, I've been behind the gun before, dial a target, engage it twice, and by the time I went to the next target, the wind had already switched, dial, shoot, and go off the opposite side of it. You know, it's just crazy with the 22, especially when you start getting 2, 3, 4, 500 yards. A 5-mile-an-hour wind will just push the crap out of that bullet.
Drew Bradley says Lone Star Field products for bench is pointless. I don't know. I don't know what he means.
I don't either. Sorry, Drew. Elaborate, my friend. Altus and Baker, Florida.
Thomas says I'm 6 foot tall and weigh 400. I don't lay on my belly. Okay. Then so let's say some of these stages.
You gotta have your knee up.
I don't know if you shoot competition or not, or if you're just listening or whatever. But so let's do an example, like the swinging stage where you had to lay on that.
Yeah.
And there was no other way to shoot it because you couldn't go kneeling, you couldn't go sitting. You had to lay on it.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that as well. Just teaching a lot of guys. You have some guys that are, just lack of a better word, that are barrel chested. When they get over to lay on their belly, they can't unless you can get the rifle propped up really high. We all have different body shapes and everything else, and you have to come up with something that works though if you're going to do this.
I noticed when we would shoot at a VOD all the time. When I first started there, it was horrible because you're basically bending in the middle because you have to go uphill. Mm-hmm. And the pad's kind of
shooting uphill is difficult. That'll crane your neck, and it's nasty.
And after a while, your body gets used to it. I guess just like anything else, you're stretching yourself out for the next time. But yeah, it's horrible sitting there for 3 hours all cockeyed. Drew commented it was more of a question.
Kenny says,
I don't know the answer to that one, buddy. So, Lone Star Field products for bench.
I really don't do any bench shooting.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Yeah, Matt P is a great shooter, Kreiderman. That is for sure. Kicks my ass all the time.
There's more gained at 1,000 with, it just grayed out, with BC deviation over standard deviation measured at the muzzle. Burgers tend to do better at long range. ELR, set up a chronograph at 500 or 1,000 and shoot your low SDs. It's all the fancy saddles for bench rest. Really cool machine fixtures, hold a rifle, and fully adjustable, predictably.
Oh, I saw John F. Class. He had some crazy-ass machine holder gizmo gadget for that stuff. To me, that's just not shooting, though. That's just more of a reloading competition.
Well, it's funny, and I mentioned this one night on the chat, and it still gets by me. I don't understand. The groups that Lapua got with my voodoo were substantially larger than I get when I'm shooting prone. Substantially larger.
Yeah, in a vise.
Yeah, in a locked fixture. Someone's argument to that was, and this is literally what they said, those guns were not designed to be shot in a fixture, and the harmonics can't flow through them the way it's supposed to. That was the wording. Because I'm not going to lie to you, when I got the results back from Lapua, I'm like, I can get those kind of groups with CCI standard velocity. Now, when I got behind because one of them measured 41 centimeters, I think, which is inch and, hold on. And this is one of the better groupings at 100 yards.
Here's a good question after you're done.
It wasn't centimeters, it was millimeters, so it was 1.6 inches. So that's a minute and a half at 100 yards. And I can print better than a minute and a half with that Voodoo as long as there's no wind. Now, they're doing it in a tunnel. It's 100 meters, so what, 104 yards or something like that, 107, whatever it is. It's a little bit further, but I don't understand how that works, you know. So you got it locked down in a fixture and it shot huge groups.
Night 45.
I don't know. Maybe I just don't
Night of
understand
45.
Good question by Ryan Berg. When it comes to Kestrel's DSF, doesn't that take the place of the playing with the BC?
Yeah, you're basically locking in nodes that you don't want to change when you're using the drop scale factor on there, and you're going to use it quite a bit with 22, at least I do, and it works. It works really well. And I usually don't do any of the DSFs until I get out beyond 200 yards with it, because everything will be pretty close. But if you start all of a sudden changing muzzle velocity or changing your BC, you're going to change those lower scale numbers, and you don't want to do that. That'll really screw around with it. So it's just basically setting these intermediate nodes, and so I use the DSF all the time.
Well, here's something. So Kreiderman calls me tonight, and he's like, "Hey, what is your basically your feet per second that you're running through your Kestrel?" Now he says mine is saying around 935 feet per second.
His?
Or his, yeah. And I'm like, man, that's low.
It is.
So I told him ours are running right at
1050, 1070, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 1085 is what Matt had when I had to convert my stuff over. Oh, here's a topic that you guys might not be aware of. When you update your Kestrel, at least for me,
you know where this is going, Charles.
I was at the range and I'm like, yeah, I might as well update it. I got time before it's my turn to shoot. You know, we're setting up targets.
There is a warning on there. We've
See,
all
I
seen
didn't
it.
see anything.
What does that warning say, Charles?
It says, warning, backup profiles, they may be lost.
He goes, I didn't see that. You know
I
what
didn't.
happened?
I didn't
He lost
see it.
everything.
I lost
his
my
6, his
6.5,
Tika, all of that's gone.
Was
Okay,
like-
well, here's the
like,
deal. Do you have
bye.
the Kestrel Ballistics app on your phone, the Link Ballistics?
Yeah.
You can build all your profiles in this. You can build. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Well, I did not save them on here. Since,
Yeah, that's the problem.
since I got the
use
new
that.
phone. Yeah, I have one, and I have my stuff on there, but
But yeah, take in the Link app, build all your profiles and save all of them and back them up somewhere. That way you can go back and redo them.
yeah, well, you know what happened to that. They're gone.
Ramsey Country says you'll always get a lot of vertical if you clamp your rifle down. The rifle has to move. If not, the rifle has to jump. And so Tyler says, so I need to start free recoiling. This is actually pretty good information here. Ramsey Country says he tries to free recoil as much as he can and can still see my impacts. And then Eagle Eye says some rifles like little shooter touch. Some benefit with preload. However, it's harder to be consistent with your preload. That's why you do see a lot of the F-class shooters barely touching the rifle.
Just let it do.
Less
what
to
it's gonna
influence
do.
it, I guess.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many of your top PRS shooters do a lot of free recoiling.
Yeah.
If you watch them in some of the videos, they're just barely touching that stock and touching the trigger.
Yeah. About the only time I do a lot of free recoil is tripod work, because it's really hard to load a tripod. You can, but yeah, I'll do free recoil on that, and then positions where they're awkward positions on a barricade. I can't tell you the exact time that I do it, but when I get in a certain position, I'm just barely touching it and just
It's
basically
like a
just trying to
tank
balance
trap
it.
when it's falling over.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Yeah.
You just gotta. Hence railguns being the most accurate. Yep.
Joe Moore wants to know if you keep the Coriolis effect on the ballistics app or turn that off too.
Mine's turned off.
Mine,
I have mine turned off as well.
I think mine's off.
Jakaki, this is a great question. He wants to know, can we talk about how we handle initial wind call before a stage, specifically what direction it's coming from and what percentage to apply? For me, it's all glassing. Yeah. Everything, everywhere, and even changing the focus on my spotting scope or binoculars to try to read mirage at different locations to the target. Because you can get good at that, where you're focusing as you're working your way towards the target and seeing, because there might be a swirl there that you're not seeing, and sometimes you'll see that in the mirage.
And you do have your Kestrel right up close to you. You can kind of run that and see.
Yeah.
If you're getting some gusts kind of stuff.
Charles, what do you say?
I agree with the mirage. You can also look at the vegetation. Your grass will land one way or the other. That's a good one. I found that like your heavier tree limbs, if you are anywhere where there's trees, at about a 10 mile an hour is when they really start swaying back and forth in the wind. I also have a piece of ribbon that I have on my tripod underneath my glass, and I'll let it blow in the wind because it'll pick up real light breezes and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, you actually did that the other day. You took a piece of survey tape off the Ranger, and you're like, I need that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps. Or you can use the inner pieces of a 550 cord. That's a trick a lot of guys did way back in the day.
And another trick, believe it or not, I don't know if y'all have milkweed down there or not, but I've got where I keep a bag of milkweed in my bag.
You keep a bag of weed?
Bag of milkweed. I actually started using it for deer hunting when I'm up in the stand and stuff, but to show your thermals. It'll float and go with your thermals instead of the wind also. But yeah, I take and throw some of that every now and then too. If I just have a real light breeze, okay, cool, it's coming from that way.
Yeah.
You ever use those little like
puff bottles? You see these? No, I've never used one either. So Brian and Ramsey, they just reiterated something that I mentioned a couple days ago. I was like, man, the first thing you should do on your stage is get behind the very first shooter.
Yeah.
If you're not the very first shooter, I don't care if you have to scratch your way, find your way kneeling, but you want to see where his error is. Now, he might not share with you what he held initially, but you're going to see where it's favoring, look at the target, see where it's favoring. And here's another one. When we were at that Utah match, guys that were missing, you could see where they were impacting the rock in the background, and you could see the craters back there. And so, I mean, hey, they're indicators.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
oh, that's 1.5 million or something.
The best indicator of future behavior is past behavior. Okay, so that's something to think about.
And, believe it or not, I don't know how they do it in the 22 matches, but like your big 2-day national centerfire matches,
yeah,
everybody in your squad will share wind holds with you. They'll come off the gun and say, I held 3/10.
Yeah.
It never fails.
I don't know. I've been to some matches where that's
they're all secret squirrel stuff, and they're not saying a thing.
See, our little mini-series up here, we tell everybody, don't share info. You're there to compete and have fun. You're not there to say, hey, I held 3/10 left. We just don't do it. It's pointless to me because we set these matches up where a guy can get better. So like the first time or the second, third time, we'll tell him, hey, you was missing off the left edge or missing off the right, high or low. But after 2 or 3 matches, he's on his own as far as wind calls and where he missed that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But if you're never going to get better if somebody gives you the wind calls on every stage you shoot.
That's right. Spin drift, you can turn it on and off, Joe Moore. I do leave my spin drift on. That I do. I don't know if you do or not, Charles.
Yeah, I leave the spin drift on.
VOD is tricky for wind calls. It's in a valley. Yes, it can be for 22. I really haven't seen that many issues out there because there's some great indicators for center fire. But for 22, son, it will push that. There's a solid wind that always comes from like 430. But once it goes around and starts swirling, it'll push it back to the right. It's crazy, but it's tough with the 22.
Yeah, depending on what targets.
Yeah, and where it's at.
Right in the range. Past 300 is that spot where the wind kind of comes through. Not spin.
Yeah, so not spin of the Corellas, bullet spin drift. Yes, we leave bullet spin drift on.
No problem, Joe.
Does
That's nice that they helped you out.
So this would be a good topic. I know we've been on here for a while. 2 hours, actually. It goes fast. Okay, the Coriolis, it does matter, okay? Every little bit matters. But does it matter enough, okay? And so does everybody know what Coriolis is? Basically, it's your location on the Earth and in the direction in which you're shooting. The way to show this is to shoot west at a certain distance, and if you could, which some places you can do this, I mean, you could get on a really long range and get in the center of it, and then turn exactly east and shoot that way and see what the difference is. Now, based on where you're at, you're going to notice a difference. Who has time to figure all that out in a PRS match? That's why I don't think this really matters. I mean, you could say, yeah, we're shooting in the west direction. Now, the PRS match, because you were shooting all day off this side, and then the next day you were shooting off this side, yeah, it could play into it, but if that's the case and you're going to stay there all day long and you're not alternating between left side, right side, right side, it's going to always be the same. Yeah.
I have not used the Ford DOF from Hornady. Ryan?
I haven't either.
I haven't. I have not. Yeah, Tank Frank, he says it matters more for ELR when we're talking really long range. We're talking miles, and it absolutely does. That's why when we shoot, and I'm teaching a class, you know, the first thing, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because it's so hard for people to pronounce or something. But everybody's like, oh, the Earth's spin drift matters so much. How's that played in here? We don't need to worry about it. 700 yards, you're good, man. You got other things to work on. Don't worry about that. It is important, but it's not important here, okay? And I tell them that in a nice way. I'm not that frank about it. But it's don't worry about it. You might have read it in a magazine or whatever, but you're really not going to see the effects of it here. We're not changing our direction. We're shooting this way all day long. It's not going to matter. You know,
unless it's the third Sunday of an uneven month.
The only match I know of that would really come into play is King of 2 Mile. Other than
yes, there you go. That's what he's talking about. The ELR, that's going to matter. But for the normal PRS stuff, shooting 12, 13, 14, 1500 yards, even when I was doing the mile shot, you know, we would go down there. We never really figured that in. Yeah. It didn't matter.
Ray's been a big supporter of Trimmer 3 for a long time.
Yeah, I've had the Trimmer 3 pretty much since it came out, and it has its place. It's worked well for me. It doesn't work as well for me as I would like it to have on this precision rimfire stuff, and we're shooting 300-400 yards, because it does obscure a lot of the impact area. So,
Thriller Rob watched the Mark Wahlberg movie, Sniper.
Where's this? Oh.
Thriller Rob. What's up, Thriller Rob? Glad to see you out here, buddy. Let's see. Sweden.
Yeah, Ryan Berg, 3+ seconds of flight time. There you go.
On DLC, Scarab 2, X-Ring keeps firing. Oh, you're probably asking, what the hell?
Sorry, my bad. Yeah. I'm over here going.
I know. Damn fidget.
It's like a fidget spinner.
Shooter, that's what it was called.
Oh, Outlaw says, Charles, what brand of trigger, what style, and weight do you prefer? I know you're a lightweight.
Trigger Tech Diamond, flat shoe, 8 ounces is what I set mine at.
There you go.
Every rifle I own's got a Trigger Tech Diamond in it, flat shoe, and they're all 8 ounces.
Damn, big money.
I'm running Trigger Techs in a lot. You are too. We're just not running 8 ounces.
No, I got them a little heavier. What is the Shooter's World? Oh.
Brian Marks, that would be, try the long rifle.
Yeah.
It's about comparable to what the H4350 is.
Yeah, I was just going to say, don't use the Shooter World H40 or 4350. Because I bought 16 pounds of it. It's just, I don't know what I'm going to use it for, really.
You could probably do good with it, Rick. I mean, because it's almost in the H4831 burn rate. It's right there on the verge of it. So pack a lot in and like your 6.5 Creedmoor and roll with it.
Yeah, because wasn't that officially kind of thought up for the 6 Creedmoor?
Mm-hmm. They kind of try to get into the game of where the guys are using like the Reloader 26 and H1000 and stuff like that. You know, packing 46 grains of powder behind a 105 or a 140 and getting great velocity and 110% case fill is their thought behind it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because you got to run a few ounces more.
Otter, he's running an Ace barrel in his Voodoo, and I'm running the Bartland.
153 tips. 8 tips, Magnum 7. We're going to go back and read Eagle Eye's comment.
Must be a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Long rifle is the closest.
long rifle is.
Lots of tequila and Viagra DW.
Kids are going with the grandparents. He'll be out like a light.
Yep. If your erection
He'll be
lasts more than 4 hours,
"Woo, ready to go!" That boy gets no sleep. None. You could call him at like 3 in the morning, he'll be up. You call him at 5, he got 30 minutes of sleep and head back to work.
Hey guys, yeah, I got called into work.
About the same way. I sleep about 2 hours a night, if that.
Damn.
I see another one.
Now I know why you watch these chats.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So here's something that people might be interested. How does everybody trim their brass? Are you using the automatic trimmers like the Henderson or the Girard or?
Right there, buddy. That's how I trim it. Like I just do that. See, it works.
Well, I was going to throw this out there. I picked up one the other day, that 3-way head that RCBS makes that goes on their trimmer.
Yeah.
It trims, chamfers, and deburrs all in one motion.
How do you like
that'd be
it?
Nice.
I love it. It was like $60,
Can
and
you
I got the.
add it to a tool head?
I don't see why you could.
Like a station already? What's
No, it's made for their hand trimmers. What it's made for, like their Trimway Pro or whatever it is.
Let me see the back of it.
It's made for that style of trimmer.
That thing's got a crank on it. That's like one of them old-fashioned drills.
Yeah, but
But here's the thing. You pull that screw right there out.
Yeah, and you put your drill.
Put your drill on it in and use a drill on it. Mine should be here tomorrow. But yeah,
Works great, huh?
Yes, because I hate brass prep more than anybody does. I cannot stand it.
I hate it too. That's why I just shoot 22 rim fired out.
I've been wanting to make myself spend the $700 for one of the Henderson automatic trimmers.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I saw this the other day and I was like, I wonder if that'll work. So I ordered it, and yeah, best $65 I've ever spent, I think, on reloading stuff.
Nice. Ryan says it's fast and easy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they sell the little thing that you can attach to my Frankfurt Arsenal one. You know, the head. Just one head, call it done.
What you could probably do is go to a machine shop and have them like machine you a piece that would screw into the Frankfurt.
Yeah, something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pain in the ass. I hate doing it.
But yeah.
Well, we've been
all I've got.
We've been yapping for 2 hours and 18 minutes. Charles, you got anything else you want to say besides? I was gonna say besides thank you for showing up.
I gotta go to
No
Walmart.
problem. I enjoyed it. The only thing I must say is keep it simple, guys. Anybody can shoot this sport. You don't have to be in shape. You can be young. You can be old. It doesn't matter. Pick a rifle up and go shoot and have fun.
George Wilson's out there. Welcome, George. It says, picked one up, 1/2-inch drill. Thought I'm doing 500 pieces. Maybe want to stick a pin in my own eye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I trimmed
Go down to
400
Joe's.
pieces. I trimmed 400 pieces of 6 Creed brass the other night in about 10 or 12 minutes.
Jakaiki, my binos question.
Scroll up.
Dang, how far up? We're looking.
Might just,
This is the
might
first.
just be better off asking it again.
Yeah, because we're not seeing it.
Oh, right there. Yes, Ryan. I use the trimmer at 3.
No, we don't see it. Just go ahead and ask again. We'll go ahead and make that the last question.
Right here. It's found it, I think.
All right.
SIG BDX rule in UKD. What about PRS or NRL 22 where distance is given? Is 10 times a good mag on binos or would 15 to 18 be your
Okay, so I do want to chime in on this because if you are shooting an unknown distance match, you must have range-finding binoculars if you want to be competitive. Period. End of story. A spotting scope will do you no good in that type of match. Okay. PRS, on the other hand, is another story. You already know the distances. You're trying to find them. Try not to get a spotting scope that's got way too much power. That's why I do like the 15 to 45 because I still have a good field of view, but I have a reticle in there. I'll be able to spot stuff a lot closer. I do prefer binos, but I think there's a place for a spotting scope, and it's going to be hard to replace that because you already know the distance. But being able to see it and zoom in on those impacts that these guys are making or missing, and being able to also judge by using that reticle, which you're not going to have on most of your binos. What do you think, Charles?
I agree. I'm thinking about next year probably running a double setup. Getting one of the plates.
Yep.
Putting a spotting scope on one side and a set of binoculars on the other side.
Yep.
Probably a 15x bino for spotting stuff. And using the spotting scope to really zoom in on the steel. Okay, this guy hit left edge. So, wind's got to be right to left or whatever. So, yeah. I think it really goes back to if you're going to invest now, if you're just going to go buy something, if you have the money to do it, you may as well buy either the SIG BDX pair or the that new set of Vortex that they just came out with, the Fury HD with the applied ballistics.
Yep.
If you're going to buy now, I would go ahead and buy a set of them because the 10X that they got is plenty for spotting impacts. And if you're going to get into the hunting style matches, you also have your AB and everything standalone right there. You don't have to fiddle with a Kestrel or any of that. But it really goes back to what your budget is. I mean, do you have the money to go out and spend $1,500 on a set of binoculars or a spotting scope? Or do you have $500 or $600 to spend on glass to do this?
I know SIG BDXs you can get for about $800 as a good rule of thumb when they're on sale. And then spotting scopes, I'm still going to say it again because I've ran into too many guys that have been running them. That stupid Bushnell, that Legend Tactical,
yes,
you might get one with spots in it. I get it. You might get one with a crooked reticle, but it's going to work and work well, and you can find those things on sale for about $260 to $400.
If you watch Amazon, they're on there all the time for around $300.
Yeah, I think it's hard to beat, and there are times where I prefer it over my Leupold Mark IV because sometimes my reticle is fuzzy in my Mark IV when I'm trying to get it focused, and I have another adjustment on that Bushnell, which I do like better than the Leupold.
Yeah, and I will say in the spotting scope, and if you can afford it, get one with a reticle in it.
Yes, absolutely. Not say, oh, well, I can buy the eyepiece with one because that's going to cost you a lot of money. Get one that's already in there and done. Yep. Once and done.
And then make sure it's the same as whatever you're shooting.
Yeah, so back in the day, I ran a lot of Kawas. Had a lot of the Kawa spotting scopes. They were super nice, but they didn't have reticles. They were the clearest glass. You get the fluorite glass and everything else, and they were super, super nice. But I was using them for a different purpose, and so having something with a reticle really helps, especially if you go to the range with a buddy and you're giving them spotting calls, Dude, you're a half mil right all day long. I mean, you got it right then and there. You can't do that with binos.
Yep. And, not only that, sometimes, I don't know if you've encountered it or not, but we'll come up to a stage, it's a blind stage. You've got a target over here and a target over here that you have to shoot at. And you can't see the target in your scope that you have to shoot at. You have to go off this target up here that you can see, mill it, and then shoot at it. And you have to do everything on the clock. You have to mill it, find it, and shoot it on the clock.
Yeah. All right, we're trying to get caught up on all these before we hang up on everybody here want to see.
There's an annealing question out there about cost. I can't find it.
Yeah, somebody was talking about that homemade induction annealer where you use the wire.
The wire.
Yeah, they have this little setup you can make and make a coil and do it.
Oh, I don't know if you have the ability to get a annealer, and some of them aren't expensive at all, or too expensive. You can save a lot of money, especially if you're going to do a lot of shooting. I remember the comment out there 3 to 4 times, and then they got rid of the brass.
Yeah, so I'm going to share something. So, conservative sniper hunter was talking about Kenny and spinning up that Desert Precision Gun Works. Shoots a ragged 5-shot cloverleaf group. Now, remember, guys, that's the second one he built. Mine does the exact same thing. That 223 AI that I had him build up for Mini X. But the thing is I'm actually talking to Matt about procuring that rifle from him. So
It's usually DW. It's usually neck tension, so you're not getting a consistent neck tension, which in turn changes things up. Pressures are different, and then in turn your accuracy goes.
Consistency is the key to accuracy, whether it be neck tension, powder charge, whatever. Consistency is key.
yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, Charles, while we're still on here, I appreciate you coming on.
Hold on.
And giving us great information and always being a
Yeah, thank
plethora of knowledge out there on the side chat as well.
Oh, no problem.
Hopefully
I got a new laptop, so anytime y'all want me on, just holler at me and send me an invite, and I'll come on.
Sounds good. I'm going to hit the end broadcast, but that doesn't mean you have to hit anything yet.
Okay.
Just hanging out for a minute. All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks again for showing up. Still have 72 people in here after 2 hours and basically 30 minutes of yapping. So appreciate it. Hope you guys learned something from these guys. You guys take care. Have a good night.
We're skunk cake.
We'll see you. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys. Have a good one.
Later, fellas.